Well, a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Flight Deck Sim live stream. Today it's the 9th of April 2021, 7 minutes past 5 here in the evening in the UK. And straight away, right off the bat, thank you so much for everyone's lovely comments regarding the passing of Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh today. Very sad news indeed. I saw a lovely comment from Anthony. We'll do a little virtual send-off. We're going to do a little wing wave after departure in commemoration of him. He's a huge fan of mine. I actually did the Duke of Edinburgh Award at school. I got my silver, never went on to get gold. But a very remarkable gentleman, and he had a very good run, 99 years old. So great to see lovely comments in coming from that. Anyway, I hope you're all doing very well. Tutors love Ben Matthews here. Anthony, hope you're doing well. RNGN Elite says hi guys. Hello to you as well. Love that comment, Lars, about taking the aircraft to Brussels for us to pick up. Fantastic there. Francisco, hello from Germany. Good night to you, sir. RS Turbo 50 says no rush, Captain. Yes, sorry for the slight delay here at the start of the stream. The reason was True Earth takes a long time to load in on this sim, especially if you have an external drive. Usually takes about 2 minutes to explain level to load. It took about 15 minutes. Like if I had up the sim at about 45 minutes past, then it took right until about 2 minutes before the stream for it to open up, so it was a slight delay there. Moen says, are you having to kick Mariana off Volivant to get the internet bandwidth? Thankfully the internet should be strong enough. We fixed all the internet issues we had a month or so ago, but I think she's probably playing Volivant right now there. Awesome. David Bromwich, does the ZIBO have dynamic braking? Brilliant. Yes, referencing our train sim experience we had the other week. Anyway, let's get on with today's stream. Fantastic day for you lined up. We are currently in Newcastle. We're going to be flying into Brussels for the first ever time. Flight time around an hour and 5 minutes. Quick turnaround. We're then going to go for the first ever time as well to Norwich. Very short runway there in Norwich, small airport, doesn't take frequent commercial traffic. I think they have a few flights through KLM, the city hopper to Amsterdam. But yeah, looking forward to it. We're in a pre-release version of the ZIBO mod, 346.17. ZIBO's up to his usual tricks, 10 minutes before the stream, just saying, oh, can you have this version, please? So we're going to actually test this one for him, untested. I tested the sector this morning on 347.16. All worked fine, didn't seem to have any major problems with the mod, probably would have issues now. But he's got some new features such as beam legs. He wants me to try out some other test features as well. So very, very, very nice. Orbex scenery looks absolutely resplendent. We're here on stand 25. I actually got a message from the VATSIM ground control. I've had a rerouting. VATSIM UK love to give reroutings at the moment, so we're not going to be following the routing on the operational flight plan today. We're going to be following the one given to us by the controller. Massive thank you to Jordan, my member from New Zealand, who made the Boeing custom Alpaca Airways livery. If you'd like to grab a copy of this for your ZIBO mod, don't forget to use the command ! Livery in chat. Has anyone ever streamed into Norwich before, says AndyH1302? I haven't, and I can't believe I haven't flown in there before, because that's around my neck of the woods where I actually grew up, not too far away from Norfolk, and I flew into Norwich several times when I was building my house for a PPL. Never flown in there in a commercial jet though, but it'll be quite challenging, but it can take a 737 no problems, around a 1800 metre runway there. Perfect. Can you tell me how I can get your Concorde livery? Sign FPS1. If you look at any of my Concorde streams, so if I look in the chat on the right hand side, I can promise you someone would have asked the command for that livery at some point during the stream, but that's the best way to always get the liveries. Right, anyway, let's jump into the cockpit. We'll turn the music down here. We're going to do a complete cold and dark setup, and we'll get the show on the road. I love the Orbex scenery. It looks so nice here. But yeah, the only thing about this Orbex scenery, it's a little thing here. The FPS I'm getting at the moment is about 40, but watch this. If I go over here to the terminal, it drops way down, look, to 15 FPS, and look how laggy it is. You can hear me pressing the arrow, and look at the delay. So yeah, I get bad performance to the terminal, so I actually chose the remote stand over here where I get no input delay. Look, you can see, look, it's all perfect here, but that's the only thing I've noticed with this scenery. Right, let's get the show on the road, get rid of the FPS counter as well. We're going to do lots today. Going to do full PA, I'm going to do PAs. I haven't done PAs in a while. Someone said, can we do the PA? Battery on, we need to get some ground power connected to the aircraft. There we are. There we are, GPU's now on the bus. Electric hydraulic pumps are on. Landing gear lever is down. 1, 2, 3, and we have 4, 5, 6 green lights. And then we check all the aircraft documentation to make sure it's up to date. Tom C says, exclamation mark, livery isn't working. I know why, because I had it turned off for the stream we did in Microsoft Flight Simulator, because I didn't actually have a livery for there. Just give me 2 seconds and I'll turn that back on. Yeah, the command is set to owner only. That's why it's not working. There we are. Now, if you try it now, might take a couple of seconds for Nightbot to catch up, but it should now work. Thanks for that, guys. And sorry that wasn't working there, Tom C. You should be able to get it any second. Jonathan Wiltshire, master key in, master switch on, reverse handle to neutral.
30,
AWS tests, wait.
10.
No, that's Alpaca Rail Freight, brilliant. Thanks for the donation, Scotty, too.
To celebrate my new internet installation so I can now watch in HD.
Who are you?
Thanks for the great content.
Oh my god, what's happened to my Microsoft voice? Why do things change without me changing any settings? Oh, I didn't do this. Scotty 2, thanks for £5. Very kind. To celebrate my new internet installation so I can now watch it in HD. Thanks for the great content. Thank you very much, Scotty 2. I hope you're going to love this in beautiful HD quality. That's fantastic. But I've got a new voice doing the Dodo talk out there. Absolutely nothing to do with me. I don't know if that was Streamlabs changing settings or anything
50,
like that.
40,
oh my, I'm going to get another
30,
one now.
20,
thank you very much, Dan Roach, for the $5. Here we go.
Glad to catch you live this morning. Love your videos, helps me be a better sim pilot.
Thank you very much, Dan Roach, for the $5. Sorry. Glad to catch you live this morning. Videos helps me be a better sim pilot. Well, thank you very much, Dan Roach. Certainly when flying the ZIBO mod, I'm doing everything exactly as I would do in real life, so that's very kind, and I hope you're doing very well. Have you moved to Seattle, said Craig Stevens? Microsoft Karen? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where's Jeanette's gone. I don't know what's going on. Right, thanks very much, to be fair, Dan and Scotty. Very generous of you. Right, battery on, electric hydraulic pumps. We check all the aircraft documentation now. Let's do the fault and fire tests and the models. So 3 lights here, 3 lights there. Faults and APU detector in op wheel well. We have the 3 warning fire lights, engine overheat, the bell, the fire warning lights, and overheat detector is illuminated too. On the emergency exit lights, here is our operational flight plan. So our first sector, we need 4.9 tons. The standard VATSIM Friday evening, 30 minutes extra fuels going on top of that. So that'll be 1,200 kilos, so we'll go for 4.8, 5.8, 6 tons exactly. That's going to do us perfectly. So fuel, 6 tons, and payload, we're taking 130 passengers for our inaugural Newcastle to Brussels service. So passengers, 10, 9, 20, call for the fuel, and the zero fuel weight should be 58.7. Drum roll. No, it shouldn't. That's takeoff weight. 54.1. 54.1 should be the zero fuel weight. That is correct there. Brian O'Donnell, AP246. I'm not going to say Brian because my identity way, but in between AP300 and AP320, Brian O'Donnell. That's the course given to the integrated courses, ladies and gentlemen, to Oxford Aviation Academy. But AP in between 300 and 320. There you go. We've kidnapped XP 1972's Dono voices. It is. Oh, poor him. My. I hope he's doing well. He hasn't popped in for a stream recently, but he's sometimes around it. Excellent. Right, so we've got the fuel being loaded. We've got the passengers on board as well, and we'll start the flight leg 2 for the boarding. Test the attend button. That is all working. We check the flaps are up, matching the flap indicator position. Quick takeoff config test. The warning horn is now working, because that wasn't working on a few versions ago when we were last streaming. And that's all looking good down here. Stab trim out switches to normal. Cargo fire test coming next. There's the fire warning light as well as the bell. Transponder to standby. That should be at 2000. So whoever flew this last reset the code. There we are. Rotor and aileron trim is 0. Stab trim is normal. Manual gear extension door is closed. Circuit breakers are all in. Emergency escape route is tethered and attached to the aircraft. Stall warning test is done. Track speed warning test as well. Check the flight recorder. VHF1 there. IRS to nav. How long is that going to take here? 9 minutes. Circuit breakers are all in, and as I said, we've started the boarding. We're due off in 15 minutes, so we're doing okay for time. Spooled up, you're already buckled in. Fantastic. All looking good. Jonathan Wiltshire said, do you know S3KR1T
50,
handshakes?
40,
Oxford
30,
that's completely
20,
new to me, Jonathan. I don't even
10.
know what that's referring to there. Thank you very much, Freckles, for the £3. Here we go.
The thesaurus gives an alternative word for alpaca as delay. Have a good stream.
Cheers, Freckles. One of my younger members, been here a while as well. The thesaurus, we're American now, gives an alternative word for alpaca as delay. Brilliant. Well, there's a slight issue there at the start of the stream with my true assuming. But thank you very much, Freckles. No doubt I'll get my geographical locations all modelled up today. Ever thought of turning on random failures on the sim? It could get quite interesting. I think they're off at the moment, Justin. I did have it for a while, but sometimes it doesn't interact very well with the add-ons. The FlyJ sim, for example, has a nice cool maintenance feature, which I do like. But I have had an engine failure before, but it is off for now. I will consider turning it on again, but I like things to run as smoothly as
50,
possible.
40,
My goodness, thank you very much
30,
as well
20,
to Dominic or C
10.
for the $5. What's going to be good here?
Good afternoon, Captain.
Hi.
We're glad that you are in the ZIBO MOD, the best flying machine to hit the virtual skies.
Absolutely, Dominic Orsini. Yeah, this is the bread and butter of this channel. I have a huge amount of respect for ZIBO for creating this aircraft and being involved with the project for so long. In fact, someone made a great suggestion the other day on Facebook, commented on one of the posts I made regarding making a comparison flight, because it was about, I think he said it was nearly 2.5-3 years since I first flew the ZIBO mod on my first ever tutorial, and how much it's changed. It's amazing since then. You see, look, I've got an Alpaca Airways departing straight ahead. Very good. It's nice to see him have a safe flight. I guess he's going to Brussels as well. Very cool, but thank you very much for your donation there, Dominic. Very kind. Right, let's see if we can get some ATIS here in Newcastle. We do have ground at least online. There we go, and the frequency is 118.375. So, got iPads open galore. Got my work iPad with all the charts. I've got my personal iPad as well. 118.375. And that's on COM 1. Okay, there's no 80s coming through on voice, so I'll get it on text. So, Newcastle information is Delta. Time 1520 is very old. Weather, an hour old. Runway 07, transition level 75, surface wind 0806, varying between 050 and 120, 10k, view at 2,500 feet. It's only 4 degrees here in Newcastle, pretty nippy, and the QNH is 1012. So, QNH 1012 is set. We'll set an MFRA of 1,260 feet. Well, 1,250, that's 1,000 feet AGL, so that's the point at which you'll accelerate in the event of an engine failure. And we'll turn up the lighting as well. It's going to be a nice sunset flight into... Well, actually, it should be still light by the time we get to Brussels, but by the time we get to Norwich, it will be dark, I think. Right, time to load up the flight management computer. So, latest AirX installed. We're in Newcastle, Echo Golf, November Tango. Sounded like a Geordie then, Newcastle. GPS coordinates are in. We're going to Brussels, Echo Bravo Bravo Romeo. Call sign, you should be able to see at the top there, is Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform. Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform. So here is our operational flight plan, but I'm not going to be copying this. The reason is ATC came back to me, that's of UK, and said, could you please accept this new routing due to good traffic flow? And I was like, okay, yeah, fine. So this routing is completely incorrect now. Well, I say incorrect, it's what I filed, but VATSIM UK want us to fly a slightly different departure there. Many miles worth of information. The Nightbot aircraft description ZIBO version does not match your YouTube stream description. 347.17 in Nightbot, but 347.16 in the stream's description. Very critical, many miles. Yes, I updated the video description yesterday. However, ZIBO Mod gave me this version 30 minutes ago, so in hindsight, you're quite right. I should have remembered in the whole rush of things, getting things started, to update the video description, and being the perfectionist I am, I will now update here what that is. 347.17, and I've saved it, so that should now be updated. Just for all you naysayers, here we are, 347.17 seats. It's a pre-release version, so we are
40,
in that version
30,
here.
20, 10.
Brooks, thanks for the donation there, buddy. That's very kind. Do I need college to become a major airline pilot? Oh, so talk to me in the US or where you are from. College being university. You don't need to go to university. You only need your sort of secondary education. So when you're 16, those exams is a minimum requirement. In the UK, we do A-levels on top of that, so also I'd recommend getting A-levels, but not a requirement. But always try and get as much education and qualifications as you can to improve your chances of getting pilot job there. Thank you very much for your donation, Brooks. Thank you indeed. Jason Dictor, what is the change log? It should be in the command when you use exclamation mark aircraft. It should have some of the changes there. But thank you very much, Many Miles. You need a checklist for streaming, says Many Miles. I have one. Number one is video description and thumbnail. Make sure I update that first. But yes, to be fair, that was a very last-minute update by ZIBO. Right, so we've got the ATIS. Now we're going to put the routing in here. So, yeah, bear with me, guys, because the routing on the flight plan is not the same as the routing I have from air traffic control. So we're departing from runway 07. It's going to be the Gurley 1 Tango, because it's the only SID that goes towards Gurley. And the actual routing from ATC is as follows. Ottringham, VOR, which is 13.9, Lima 90 Dollars. I'm not copying this, remember. Slightly... It's a little bit similar, but after Dulles we're going direct to Banem, and then from Banem, Yankee 6 to Summum. Oops, forgot to put Yankee 6 in first. Okay, he's not accepting Yankee 6 from ATC, I'll have to advise him. I was going to go from Banam direct to Summon, but it said Yankee 6 afterwards, but it's not accepting Yankee 6 airway. Nope. Okay, that's fine. From Summon Maddox. All it will be is some waypoints in between, if any. Then from Maddox direct to Coxey, and that will be the arrival into Brussels. Departure arrival page then. It's going to be the... Well, I don't know what it is because he's changed it. We could expect ILS Zulu 25 right. Is there Coxey 7 Alpha? There we are. It's the only one there, and it'll be definitely via Antwerp. So that is activated, executed. So yeah, not the same as this because we're giving a rerouting there. Did ATC side chat you as new route? Said Justin. Yes, they did, and I guess everyone else going to Brussels will be getting this same routing there as well. Right, that's in. So let's go to the performance page. Zero fuel weight is 54.0 tons. Our alternate is Charleroi. It's a kind of second city in Belgium. The alternate is 1709, so at my operator they would have bumped that up because that is below our minimum reserve requirement of 1.8 tons. We'll put 1.8 in anyway. Cost index of 30. Although it's only an hour's flight, we're going all the way up to 39,000 feet. You might be asking, why do you go that high for such a short sector? It's still as efficient, you know, to go as high as possible, regardless of the length of the sector, because that's where a jet engine is most efficient, burning least amount of fuel, travelling as fast as it can go. And then we obviously spend a lot of time in descent with a lower fuel burn, so that's why we go up to 390. We'll probably only be up there for 25 minutes or so. Cruise wind is going to be the top climb wind of 263 at 54. We put on this page. Top of climb ISA is 3 degrees, and the OPT, which I have done, but I didn't get a chance to post it up because of the delay it starts the stream. Now, takeoff weight is 60 tons. Putting that into the OPT right now, but I have got all the weather information for runway 07. That says we can take full length for runway 07. 22k with assumed temperature of 47 degrees. That's going to give us a 5.0. This is 87.6. Again, a bit of a discrepancy in the mod at the moment. I haven't got the AP bleed on, but that only gives us a difference of 0.6 with this. So that should be 87.0. It's about 2% less than what the OPT is saying. Oh well, I'll have to look into that again. So flat 5, CFG is in 20.1%, Mach 5.75% is the trim coming in as well. And V speeds are 34, 35, and 39. 139 is coming up here on the MCP. How are we for time? We're good for time. Let's have a look here in chat. Flap, 0 thumbs down. What happened to the YouTube trolls? I'm getting worried. Yes, no doubt that will come in again soon. Yes. No comments. James Johnson, Captain, as an airline captain, do you get to choose your aircraft to pilot, or is it assigned to you? Great question, James Johnson. It's completely assigned, regardless of rank. So you get your flight plan in the morning, and it just simply says the registration of the aircraft, and then you call up the handling agent when you get to the airport, say, right, I'm operating the Alpaca 01 flight from Newcastle to Brussels, and they'll go, yep, you're on stand 25, what's your fuel? And they'll say block is 6 tons please. They'll also want your trip fuel as well for the loading documentation, and any important information like the number of crew members as well, because they make the load sheet for you. Yes, that's not assigned to us, that's how it works sort of at the airport. Right, so FMC loaded, performance done. Let's go up here onto the overhead panel. Your dampers on, nav transfer and display switches are normal on auto. Crossfeed valve will check because it's the first flight of the day. Bright, dim, bright, and off. Fuel pumps are coming on. That's all looking good up here. IDG disconnect switches are closed. Turn on the panel lighting. Fueling should be done here. Fasten seatbelt sign on. Imagine the cabin is secure. I've already tested it 10 minutes, we need to do that again. Window heat's coming on, probes off, anti-ice off at this stage, trim air on, packs auto, isolation valve open, 390s. Our cruise 200 is the elevation, with 180 feet in Brussels, but 200 is fine. Let's set that to steady. Flight directors can come on. Runway QDM here for runway 07 in Newcastle is 066. And for our SID today, it's an RNAV SID, so I'll just set these to 066 as well, just in case you have to come straight back in for an ILS approach. So 066, 066. I saw an aircraft taking off. There was some weird reflection going off on the panel there. Right, that's set. We're expecting a SID stop level of flight level 80, so we're going to put 81 here, get the AP up and running now as well. BX7iOS, what's acceleration height via engine out on takeoff reference page 2? Now, at my operator, we don't use takeoff reference page 2, which is here. This is if you use VNAV, so VNAV will be able to calculate and bug up, essentially, you know, where we bug up on my streams, VNAV will do this automatically at the acceleration height, and then you can also set, in the event of an engine failure, at which point you want the aircraft to accelerate to. Never used any of these features in my entire career, because we don't use VNAV. When we engage the autopilot, level change engages, and then we bug up. Cool, so that's all done. Auto brake to RTO, reset the fuel flow, legs on Jim's side so he can monitor our routing, and nav aids ILS 07 will stick the frequency in here, which is 1115. 1115 and 1115. Again, that's just if we need to come back, something for us to follow. Perfect. So I'll put the APU on the bus, get rid of the GPU, and we'll retract the airstairs and close the doors before I forget. There you go. Doors closed. Superb. Mahir says, do any of you in the here have full memory of the phonetic alphabet? I'll be surprised if there's many people here that don't know the phonetic alphabet, Mahir. It's very easy to learn, but yes, it's definitely a requirement if you want to be simming or flying. Perfect, so we're almost ready. Let's just get better pushback organised as well. There's one I made earlier.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you're ready.
We will, thank you. Ah, where is it? There we are.
Ground to cockpit. Toes driving up.
Right, we'll grab our clearance whilst that's going on.
Packer 9 is on Bravo, thanks for your cooperation. Contact Newcastle Radar 13, correction 124-375.
Oh no, we got ground, sorry.
124-375, thank you. 9 November.
See, Alpaca Airways ground crew, just on the grass as usual.
Alpaca 14 Mike Juliet, confirm you pushing.
Mowing. All I remember is Jeep was gnome. Oh, brilliant. And Newcastle ground, very good evening. Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform on stand 25 with Delta. QNH 1012 departure clearance to Brussels, please. And we've got the new flight plan loaded, thanks.
Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform, Newcastle ground, hello, clear to Brussels. Charlie 1 Tango, departure squawk 7275.
Okay, external checks are complete. All doors and hatches are closed. We're ready to connect.
Charlie 1 Tango, score 7275. Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform.
Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform, correct.
So flight level 80, and the squawk is in, which is 7275. And we just verify. I always call it. I've never been to Newcastle. I thought it was Gurley, not the journey. Journey 1 Tango is set as well. Perfect, we're all ready to go, but just before we do it, let's brief where we are and what we'll be doing for our departure. So, we're on stand 25 here. It's going to be a pushback to face south, quite a short taxi. We'll be on this taxiway here, which is Alpha. Right,
okay, the tow's connected, bypass pin inserted. Release parking
and there's
brake.
Alpha 1, so lovely short taxi for us. And our SID, you can see everything here as well. There's a hotspot there as well, to be careful, the 2 hold points. And here's our SID, the Journey 1 Tango. It's an RDAV 1 departure, which we have approval for, to fly RDAV 1. GNS, S or DME is required. SID includes noise prevention routes, so stick to it here. There's backup with VORs here. You need to have GNSS equipment, which we do have. So our departure is climb straight ahead, 5.3 DME until we get to November Tango Echo 05, max 210 knots, 2,000 feet to flight level 80. So we have to add above 2,000 feet, that's fine. Max 210 knots, so if you're quite heavy, be careful with this. You might have to hold flap 1 for that initial turn because the upspeed might be above 210 knots. We'll have a look at it when we accelerate at our speeds. Once there, it's a right turn, 181 for 6.3 miles. We have 181 6.3 here to November Tango Sierra 12, max 250, add above 4,000, flight level 80, which is set. And then it's 212 for 18.4 miles all the way to Jurley, flight level 80, which is set. So that's it. Any problems, we'll climb straight ahead over the North Sea. We'll climb to 3,000 feet and go from there. Sweet, I think we've got everything covered. We'll now request push and start. Perfect for timing. Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform stand 25, request push and start.
Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform, stand 25, push and start approved.
Push start approved, Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform. So push start approved, we've got the packs off, clean on.
Transferia 2 to Golf, send 2-1, request push
Parking
and start.
brake is set, transport out
Transavia
of.
2 Golf, stand 2-1, push and
Off we
start
go.
approved, straight push.
Starting pushback. You can start engines when ready.
On our way.
Push and start approved and straight push. Transfer to Golf.
Justin, in real life, do you ask for pushback before the tug connects, or does the tug connect first? The tug must be connected first, yes, don't ask for push and start without tug connected. You're going to look like a wally if you do, and sometimes crew do that. They want to get ahead of the guy next to them, and they haven't even got the tug connected. But sometimes Tower are quite privy with that. They're like, is the tug connected? And they're like, no. Amazing. Tim, I'm still trying to teach George.
Alpaca 2901, stand 12, push and start approved.
Start approved, Alpaca 2901.
Sweet. So we'll delay the engine start slightly because it's going to be a little bit of a longer pushback.
Ryanair 5,
Just kind of wait until we're behind this line.
Push and start approved, straight
Oh, look at
push.
all the aircraft going, look.
Push and start approved, straight push, Ryanair 5.
What's going on there? Oh dear, carnage.
Grant, very good afternoon. Shuttle 1 2 Hotel approaching Delta 8.
There's an alpaca facing the wrong way. I actually think he's just pushed back.
Newcastle ground, hello, hold Delta 8.
Delta 8, Shuttle 1 2 Hotel.
Newcastle ground, Alpaca 6, Mike Whiskey, stand 1 full, request to push and start.
So is that young Swifty, one of our members here.
Right,
Right, we'll start engine number 2.
Or in position, Alpaca 6, Mike Whiskey.
Hi Julius, hope you're doing well. Face off, absolutely. Oh, I forgot to do my PA. Never mind. Well, I'll do a quick PA once I get the engine spooled up. What airline's that? Uzbekistan, he's a long way from home. My oh my.
Last station corner, static only.
Right, N2 and oil pressure N1 25%. There's the spar valve. So yeah, PA then, ladies and gentlemen, flight deck captain speaking. Welcome on this Alpaca flight to Brussels. I'm your captain. My name is Brian. First officer's Jim.
Hold out for 4.
In the cabin, you have Bill, Bob, Ben, and the flower pot Ben. Taking off from the northeasterly runway in Newcastle. Right turn after departure. Routing going to take us over the east coast, Norwich, and over the North Sea. Right on top of Amsterdam, Netherlands, onwards to Brussels. Flight time 1 hour 5 minutes.
Set parking brake.
Stage number 1, parking brake set.
Triple 12 Hotel, roger.
Flight time 1 hour 5 minutes.
Stand by.
Nice evening to go flying, and just got the latest weather conditions in Brussels.
Shuttle 1 2 Hotel.
In Brussels, showing clear skies, 13 degrees, and a light breeze from the southwest. Thanks to choosing Fly Alpaca Airways. Speak to you soon. There you go. Maybe he is actually called Brian. Yeah. A curveball. Right, distracted by the PA. Fuel coming in. And we should do that prior to push start, of course.
105, continue to Alpha 1.
Continue Alpha 1,
Very busy.
+5.
Brian, her, said Philippe. Fabi says, I believe I heard a similar PA before, and it was not Alpaca Airways. Yeah, it was. I'm not going to say.
The door is disconnected and the bypass pin's been removed. Hand signals on your left side. You have a safe flight. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, sir. Thanks for the pushback. Listerine. Outrageous. That was really nice, that guy. Like, he's only just spawned on the stand we were on. So.
Alpaca 280, contact Newcastle Tower 119.7, bye-bye. 119.7, Alpaca 280, bye-bye. Alpaca 6 Bravo Victor, hold on.
Perfect, and there's the bypass pin. We can now do the before taxi flow. So generators on, APU's off, start switches continuous, probate on, anti-ice off, packs, auto, isolation valve, auto, APU bleed off, and that is set. Flaps, the usual. 5, flight controls, full forward, full forward and full back, and left, right, and here comes the rudders. Right and full left. Could be fun taxiing. I still have that tiller issue. Look, as soon as I start turning the tiller, look, there it goes. Look, I'm not even touching it now. So there we go. It's just a bit wobbly. I just have to reset it by going like that. Blank the lower DU, recall, and that's it. Request taxi.
Alpaca 14, Mike Juliet, no worries. After the Qantas 737 passes from left to right, taxi Alpha 1 via Alpha.
After the Qantas passes from left to right, taxi Alpha 1 via Alpha, Alpaca 1 for Mike Juliet.
Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform, request taxi.
Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform, taxi Alpha, hold Alpha 4.
Alpha, hold Alpha 4, Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform. So Alpha 4, you can see there is Alpha 4,
right,
so that's our clearance
taxi.
we can't go any further.
Ryanair 50,
then here, look,
Alpha, hold Alpha 4.
Right, parking brakes released, clear left, and clear right, direct config check. There we are, no takeoff
Alpaca
config.
1 Romeo uniform, give way to the Ryanair 737 passing right to left on Alpha.
Give way to the Ryanair 737 from right to left on Alpha. Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform. So it looks like there's a little Ryanair here. There he is, so we're just going to give way to him. And then again our clearance number, remember, is Alpha 4, which is up here.
Hold Alpha 5,
this guy is here. Alpha 5 right ahead of us.
Newcastle Tower 119.7.
And he's on his way, perfect. And when you turn on the TCAS, how to not. So at the moment it's in out off, so they can see you on ground radar, but as soon as we get our lineup clearance, we'll put the transport to TARA. It stays in TA initially, and on the climb out it will revert to TARA.
Newcastle ground, good afternoon, Speedbird 691 on stand.
There's ahead of us, so we'll go behind him. Just remember our clearance limit, which is Alpha 4.
Requesting Alpha clearance to Brussels.
Everyone's going to Brussels today.
6 Dynamite, Newcastle ground, hello, clear to Brussels, Charlie 1 Tango, departure scope 7256.
Did you fix your twist problem with your stick, Philippe? No, I haven't, and unfortunately I think it's a terminal issue unless I pull it all apart. And I've been told that there's been a few issues with the Thrustmaster joysticks and in the tiller. So I use the twist function of the joystick to control the tiller. I know I can reassign it just to my rudder, but I quite like using the twist function as the tiller and then just using the rudder as a rudder. It seems to vary. Sometimes it seems to be okay, but it seems to be getting worse.
Speed 6 Dynamite, correct, brake, Alpaca 14, Mike Juliet, contact Newcastle Tower 119.7, bye-bye.
So it looks like we're number 5 departure, very busy. Brussels does have ATC, I looked on the ATC booking page, but I noticed it's on the VATSIM events page, it's all changed now, they've got a new one coming out which would be pretty cool.
Alpaca 2901, taxi Alpha, hold Alpha 4.
Taxi Alpha, hold Alpha 4, Alpaca.
Pull up behind the Ryanair, and
Alpaca 6 Mike Whiskey, after the company
Alpha
737 passes left to right, stand 1-4, push and start approved, face east.
Once the company passes from left to right,
and that's about as close as you want to be behind another aircraft. You don't want to get any closer than that, otherwise you're going to get the fumes ingested through the bleed system. Lovely smell of Jet A1 coming in. Curiosity, the old event page was better. It's like one of those things, you know, when F1 changed their logo, remember 10 years ago when Facebook changed their page, it sometimes looks a bit strange, but I think what they have moving forward looks quite promising. It's going to be much more transparent, because it's really lacking, what VATSIM's lacking at the moment is a transparent ATC booking system. So, I really do plan my streams around VATSIM events because it ensures ATC, which increases the immersion tenfold. It makes it so much better. So yeah, I think they're working on a new system where you can look at where exactly ATC's been booked, and there are some ATC booking sites available. If you type in Google ATC booking and scroll around 3 or 4, there is like a calendar view. But I think what's coming is something looking quite promising. Nicholas says, "Nice, you'll be going to my country."
Right,
Very
next 5 Papa. Continue to Alpha 1.
just
Continue to Alpha 1, Ryanair 50 Papa.
there we are.
Doing 2 Mike Charlie, you back with me?
Alerts muted.
Hey, Phil, you're arranged to
MOSD, they are working on a new events page. This is a temporary solution. There we are.
Start approved 50 East.
What's your private facing east? You're
So that's our clearance limit here, Alpha 4. And we'll advise ATC or Alpha 4.
Newcastle ground speed bus 69 might requesting push and stop.
To the 6 Mike hold position, break, Alpaca 6 Bravo, Victor, contact Newcastle Tower, 119.7, bye-bye.
Tower 119.7.
See, it's turning on its own. Alpaca 1, Romeo Uniform, Alpha 4.
Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform, thank you.
So that's our clearance limit.
Transavia 22 Golf behind the Alpaca 737, continue to Alpha 4.
Perfect.
You head Alpaca 737 now for behind.
It's going to be like a little conga line going to Belgium. There. Daniel Ralston, hi Captain, joining in from Maine, USA. Very cool, Daniel. Thank you so much. And I guess good morning or afternoon to you. Must be close to midday. Sad news about the Palace today. Absolutely. If you've just joined in, we had a lovely little word at the start about Prince Philip. We're going to do a little virtual wing wave after departure. As soon as we're about 300 feet, so we'll rock the wings in memory of Prince Philip. Very nice touch. Hello, Rory. I hope you're doing well. I see someone's messaging you, Rory, but I might have missed your message.
Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform, continue to Alpha 1.
Continue Alpha 1, Alpaca 1. Rory Heap, what does TARA stand for? Traffic Resolution Advisory. So we have the system on the aircraft called TCAS, and that on the transponder we have a switch we can move. It's on, there's 4 switch positions we use most of the time. Standby, so that's kind of like the default mode. Out off, which is the mode we have at the moment, which is basically provides information ATC but without altitude reporting, because we're on the ground they don't need it. And then we have out on, which we very rarely use, and then we always use TA or TARA. Now TA we use for example when the engine has failed, because you don't want the aircraft to give you a climb command. If you're single engine, you might not be able to perform that. And even when you move it to TARA, which is the mode we select when we line up, that ensures that we have traffic advisory information, and when you get above a certain height, resolution advisory information. And traffic advisory information is on the ND a little, you get a traffic oral warning, and you'll also get an amber circle or yellow circle on your ND. We don't need to do anything with a traffic advisory, we just need to try and look for that traffic, just confirm it's there. But if we get something called an RA, a resolution advisory, we have to take immediate action because there's quite a high risk of a collision. And what happens is you'll get...
1 Romeo uniform, contact Newcastle Tower 119.7, thanks for visiting Newcastle.
119.7, we'll see you again soon. Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform, bye. I very nearly wanted to speak in a Geordie accent, but I stopped myself. So yeah, RA, sorry, Rory, resolution advisory, we have to take immediate action. You'll get an oral warning from the system, will say climb or descend, and on our primary flight display we have a sort of a red trapezium shape appear, and we have to just set the attitude outside of the trapezium to ensure that the collision doesn't occur. And what will also happen to the other aircraft, they'll also get a resolution advisory as well, and the system communicates with each other. So if we're told to climb, the other aircraft will be told to descend, and vice versa. And it's very important, if we do get a resolution advisory, we respect it. We ignore ATC, so if ATC says no, climb or descend, we have to ignore their instruction. We only follow the aircraft's resolution advisory. So that's how that system works then. So yeah, Rory, everyone, is one of our members, and he's a blind member. He's a really lovely chap who's became a member, and he messages me a few times with these queries. It's so great to be able to interact with him in this way. Awesome. Right, approaching Alpha 1. And there's
Alpaca 1
so
for
we
Mike
need to check
Juliet,
with tower.
contact Newcastle radar 124.375 correct.
124.375.
Just make sure I set the parking brake. Look, I'm rolling. Jason, wait. What if for whatever reason you don't have the performance to climb? I can assure you with 2 engines, even at max cruise altitude, I mean, it's going to be unlikely you'll have to climb aggressively. It'll be a small amount there. But yeah, it's a good question. We have to respect it in all cases. But single engine, we turn it to TA to ensure that we don't get an RA. And then, yeah, you're having a very bad day if you're single engine and also have an RA. Put it this way, in my entire career, 10 years, I've had 1 RA. 1. And that was like on departure. It was as a light aircraft. He was actually flying in uncontrolled airspace, but it triggered an RA anyway. So we were already climbing. We were already well above the requirement was. It just said climb, and we're like, well, we're at 15 degrees nose up, so it wasn't an issue. But we have to report it anyway. Jock Cassas says the plane in front of you is way from the middle. That's because he probably has different scenery. I have the Orbex Payware scenery. He probably has the default scenery or another scenery, so that's why he's slightly off the centre line.
Papa behind the departing Alpaca Boeing 737, line up runway 07 behind. Behind the departing Alpaca 737, line up runway 07 behind Ryanair 50 Papa.
What's he playing in the background?
Newcastle Tower, hello, Alpaca 291, ready in sequence up 1.
Alpaca 291, Newcastle Tower, hello, Roger.
And Newcastle Tower, hello, Alpaca 1, Romeo uniform, Alpha 1, runway 07, and we'll be ready in 1 minute. I haven't done the before takeoff checklist.
Alpaca 1, Romeo uniform, Newcastle Tower, hello, Roger.
Perfect, so before takeoff checklist, config we checked, flaps we have, whoops. 5 green light, stab trim set for departure, which is 5.75 units set. Takeoff briefing. Pax auto bleeds on, the V speeds are set. 34, 35, 139 set here, no V speeds on the PFD. Departure then is the Gurley 1 Tango, climbing straight ahead to November Tango Echo 05, right turn inbound to November Tango Sierra 12. Stop flight level is 80, which is set twice, once on the MCP here, and also in the flight management computer. Any problems? We'll climb straight ahead to the MSA over the sea. It's 2,600, so we can climb up to 3,000 feet. That's it, cabin, I'll imagine, is secure, so I'll flick this, that gives us the PA to tell us the cabin's secure. And we're all ready to go.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Thank you. Looking good. Samuelo says, right, yeah, but my question is if he has 4 stripes. Yeah, I saw you ask, are you a captain, says Samuelo. Yes, I was promoted about 2 years ago at my operator, and I've been flying the 73 for 10 years. But yeah, still a reasonably new captain. So 2 years as captain, 1 year of which has been with a COVID-19 pandemic. I only flew about 300 hours last year. But still lots to learn.
Golf Charlie Echo Foxtrot Mike, Newcastle Tower, hello, Roger.
First Alpaca now over the channel. Excellent. Ruben, love the streams. Thank you very much.
Right, 50 Papa.
Gino, Gino says notice you have the digital display on the attitude overhead panel. How do you install it? And how do you get the orange overlapping the new one distribution?
Uniform behind the departing Ryanair Boeing 737-800, line up runway 07 behind.
Behind the departing Ryanair 737-800, line up and wait, runway 07 behind, Alpaca 1 uniform. Anyway, clear the line up and wait. Yeah, so it's just a latest version of ZIBO mod, and you can select it as an option in EFB, and that was fitted to the last NGs. And you can select, I think, the colour displays as well, but it is they're all white anyway. Right, thanks Jim. Confirm read back. Yes, we have been cleared to line up and wait, Captain. So that can come on. Weather radar on. Strobes to on. And transponder to TRA. And LNAV and auto throttle. So MCP is set. Transponder. TARA. We've got the strobe lights on. We're just waiting for our takeoff clearance. Don't forget, we're going to do a little Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh wing wave as well to celebrate his life. Probably not the same as what the RAF will be doing for his life, but we'll do our best virtually. And I'm sure if he knew what we were doing, he'd be very happy. There we are. Word of warning about the runway in Newcastle here, in Orbex. It's very lumpy. Parts of it are a little bit like a ski ramp, and it has a tendency just to make the nose lift. It is a bit lumpy, but it's not quite as square. It's very kind of like angular as opposed to curved, the bumps, but we'll see how we get on.
Ryanair 50, public contact Newcastle radar 124.375.
Alright, did you set just to TA then? No, it's in TARA. You'll see it says TA only, and in one shot departure you'll switch to TARA.
Tower, Eurowings 2 Mike Charlie.
Eurowings 2 Mike Charlie, Newcastle Tower, hello.
Don't forget the timer. I'll try and remember, Rory. Put the British anthem in for the wing wave. Oh, I've got to get a strike, copyright strike. Oh, I need to update the 727, unless that is a genuinely a two-pull off.
Contact 1 Remy, uniform center, wind 090 degrees, 5 knots, runway 07, clear takeoff.
Runway 07, clear takeoff, Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform. Got a takeoff clearance, timer's on, let's go to Brussels. Togs in chat, 40% N1. And stabilise, push toga, set takeoff thrust. I'll advance myself a bit quicker. There we are, 86.6 we're looking for. Takeoff thrust sets, indications normal.
Alpaca 291, line up runway 07, caution, 1 intersection, departure ahead.
80 knots.
Checked, release forward pressure. There you go, there's the ski bump there. Oh, nose coming up.
Go Foxtrot Mike, 5 Foxtrot, line up runway 07.
E1, rotate.
Up we go, 2 to 2.5 degrees per second. And we're airborne.
Positive rate.
Gears coming up. And just for the Prince Philip, there's the tower view. Oh, that's not the best one really, let's do a flyby. Amazing. There we go, guys.
1000.
And we'll bug up. So smoothly pitch down.
Alpaca 291, just expect a small delay due to speed separation.
Above V2 plus 15, we can select flaps 1.
Alpaca 291, understand.
Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform contact, correction there, Newcastle radar 124.375, goodbye.
124375, that's great to see. We'll see you soon. Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform. And flaps up. Contact departures. Newcastle radar, very good evening. Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform. We're on a girly 1 Tango, passing 2,600, flight level 80. So we can go to nip speed, 210 knots.
Newcastle radar, very good evening. Climb now, flight level 190.
Climb now, flight level 190, Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform. So we went to flaps up, there's 210 knots maximum speed for this first turn. But we can now bug flight level 190. Push out into vent, delete that 80 restriction. And flaps are up, we have no lights, we can set standard, we're already going to a flight level. We'll just wait until we've completed this turn before we select VNAV, just to make sure we're maintaining 210 knots here. So we can select VNAV now, and we'll accelerate to 250 knots, engage the autopilots, command A, and after takeoff checklist. So gears off, water brakes off, start switches can come off, and we'll turn the taxi lights off as well. So air conditioning and pressurization, diff pressures 2.3, it's climbing, auto, and looking good here. So air conditioning and pressurization is set, and altimeter standard set passing 61, flight level 190. And that's it. After takeoff checklist complete. Wonderbar. So we keep that heading bug updated on times. There's November Tango Sierra 1-2. Looking at right turn now inbound to Gurley. And we're being cleared 190.
Have a good one.
122 decimal 8, thanks for the ATC, bye bye.
I'll give you a wave. Thanks. Oops, I swear I pushed out into vent. Uh-oh. Anyway, I had 1 and VNAV speed. You saw me push it, didn't you? I don't think I know why. It's because we had the other restriction. I only deleted this 80, not the next one. Yes, I can see that emoji coming now. Brilliant. James Drake, is the Microsoft Flight Simulator 737 Max any good? No. I think it's I've heard about it. I think it's a bit of a rip-off, I've heard, so no. There he is. Bank angle. Bank angle's fine, 25 degrees. And look at you lot with your eyes. Patrick, is there a difference between climb to flight level 190 and climb now to flight level 190? You know, technically speaking, in the UK, yes, unrestricted, you need to climb now. So that 80 restriction could still have been a factor. So in hindsight, yeah, I should have said, confirm unrestricted climb. And usually it's a UK thing. They do say climb now, flight level. Whatever your level is, 190. There we are. Passing 100 already, and we're going up to 190, doing the pre-cruise checks. So fuel, we have 4 pumps, 5.3 on board, and we can turn the lights off. APU is off, pressurization 4.0, and everything is set. Release cabin crew, leave the seatbelt signs on, because that's what we're doing at the moment with the COVID-19 pandemic. There's recall, make sure we're monitoring 1 to 1.5, which we are, and we'd log into CPDLC. There we are. So we've got a brand new routing from ATC here. Currently going inland. I think we're going to make a left turn, still fly over Norwich, where we're going to be, conducting our final flight. And then the rest of the routing is going to take us east. But I don't think we're going to go as far east as Amsterdam now with the new routing. We'll have to see where ATC send us.
Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform, nothing further. Monitor Unicom 122, that's for me. Bye.
Unicom 122 decimal 8, thanks to the ATC. Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform, see you soon, bye.
Yeah.
Perfect. There we are, Unicom's active, and we are now on our own. Whilst there's no ATC, I'll put a little bit of background music in. We'll continue our climb ourselves, so we're going up to 390, so we'll set 390 now on the MCP. So that's set on the MCP once, on the overhead panel twice, and here 3 times. We verify we're monitoring 1 to 1.5. Oh, my checklist has flown out. There we go. Excellent. So you can see that there's top of climb, and we should have around 100 odd miles at top of climb. So we get up to 390, have a little chat, and we'll start setting up for the approach into Brussels. Expecting 25 right today in Brussels. Live time, live weather in the sim this evening. Just flying past Durham.
50, 40, 30.
Oh, Lizzie!
20,
Lizzie Winter!
10.
Oh my, oh my. Oh, well, thank you. Tough day for you, ma'am. Lizzie says, one is deeply touched by Alpaca Airways tribute to the Duke. Philip would be proud despite what he had to say about Jim's flying. It is sure to be mentioned in one seasonal's message this year. One looks forward to the Airbus flyover for his funeral. Thank you very much, Lizzie Winsey. Very touching message. And obviously, our thoughts not only with Prince Philip but yourself as well. Thank you very much. Very kind for that donation. Thank you. Phil, File MC, it was me on Newcastle Radar via the VATSIM network. Thank you very much to the ATC, Phil at MC, and if you could pass that on to your colleagues as well, that was really, really nice. Silly Ace123 says, can the game hear him when he speaks to the game? So that's a real person that you heard. That's we're on the VATSIM ATC network. Ben Matthews, have you ever done a rejected takeoff? Looks a hell of a ride to slow down. I've not done a high-speed RTO, Ben Matthews, but I have done a low-speed RTO below 30 knots for a master caution. That was just a door handle years and years ago. Fabby, do you think paying £30,000 up front for a 737 with no job guarantee after line training would be a good investment? Let's say the type rating course starting in January. I mean, in the current climate, Fabby, yeah, I mean, hard to say really. And if there's no guarantee, I mean, only you would know to make that decision as well. I mean, when I did my type rating years ago, you know, I had a job at the end of it, so it was all okay. I really can't answer that question. That's what you'd have to make based on your personal circumstances. Door open for takeoff? Oh no, I hope not. No, I even did that. Door's closed. Oh, I thought it made me feel like I forget something. Sorry, in real life. Oh, I didn't click that. No, it was the handle wasn't quite seated correctly. So when the cabin crew shuts the door, the handle needs to be all the way down. So obviously, if you try and open, you can't because the differential pressure is huge. But this handle, if it's not completely seated down, there's like I think a little magnetic strip which connects it it's connected to the light until it's closed. It wasn't quite seated correctly. His handle was just like not even half a centimetre up. Basically, that just said, okay, you check the doors. They push the handle all the way down, which cut the light off. But it was in the tech log, and it had been an intermittent issue for a while. So after it happened, we knew straight away what it was. I got it. Kurosh says click it. Tempting as it was, the click spot coming up. I'm not going to. Is Dot Wallop here? Dot Wallop, hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing very well. Dot Wallop is one of the many VATSIM. Well, I'd like to call him I call him Mr. VATSIM personally. But go check his Twitch out. I think you've just started streaming again recently, Dot Wallop. Well, I spend much time on Twitch, but he's helped contribute considerably to the channel. Gave me a lot of assistance in VATSIM over the well, I say years. It is years now. But I hope you're doing well, buddy. Good evening to you, sir. Leonard TVG, Brussels, my home airport. I can't believe it. I even have the Brussels Payware Airport, but previously I've only flown out of Brussels. I did my first ever 757 stream out of Brussels, went to Menorca, and that was over a year ago, and I've never flown into the airport, and I've got the wonderful Payware scenery, and I thought, you know what, whilst I was thinking of a second to do today, let's go to Brussels, and I thought, where else have I not been? Norwich. I thought, and it was just a nice little commuter sector to do, so that's why I kind of dreamt up these routes here. There was actually no formal VATSIM event. Jonathan Wiltshire, time wasn't started, reject. That is not a valid reason for rejecting the takeoff. Don't want to, how are you guys doing? I'm trying to stream, but my schedule doesn't want to cooperate. Oh no. I mean, I'm very quiet, but I can imagine you're very busy working in the hospital, Don Wallop. So, mate, yeah, incredible work you do. But yeah, here all same old, really. Very grateful to be able to stream and do usually 3 or 4 streams a week at the moment. I try and do at least a couple on Flight Deck Sim. One on the gaming channel, trying to do one a week on the gaming channel as well, Flight Deck Sim Gaming, so if you guys are interested in that, go check that out. And also trying to make some videos as well, so my next video I'll have, I was hoping to get it done this week, because I had a few things outside of Flight Deck Sim to get done. The weather's been a bit nice, so doing a few chores around the house, and all ready for next week, 12th of April. Obviously things become a little more unlocked on the 12th of April in the UK. So a few things planned coming up, but yeah, just checked my roster again today. No, nothing on my roster. And it looks like the government's again just not been clear enough on what the plan is for holidays. They didn't say there's going to be a sort of traffic light system, but there will be a requirement for everyone travelling to have a COVID test. It's a COVID test of some sort, and that would have to be paid for. So yeah, could be interesting to see what happens. Hendrik, hi, noob here. Not at all. Great channel. I haven't played FS since 2006. Is there any reason you never fly the 747 or A380? Mods too bad? In a nutshell, Hendrik, yes. There is the PMDG 747, which I have no doubt is excellent, but I don't use prepared. Not really for any reason. I was kind of introduced to X-Plane 11 2 years ago now, or a little bit over 2 years ago, and I was so impressed by the sim, the core sim, that I switched to using X-Men 11 exclusively. And obviously now Microsoft Flight Simulator is released, which again is beautiful, but for me personally, right now it is best for GA. The CRJ is good. I do like the Aerosoft CRJ. We've done 2 streams in that now, and no doubt in the future there'll be some great jets, but so much to look forward to in the Super Bowl. So many great aircraft to be released. I'm looking forward to flying the 146 in X-Men 11. We've got an MD-11. Someone said there's a Vickers, not Vickers, VC-10 I think. Yeah, Vickers VC-10. Microsoft Flight Simulator. There's all sorts going on there. And we'll fly whatever it is. You know, whatever comes out you want me to fly, we will. I love the challenge of flying different aircraft anyway. Windows Sierra says the takeoff speed of the Boeing 737 is 130 knots. Yes, but a specific weight. Very good, Windows Sierra. It can vary considerably, as lists have been pointed out. James, is it me or does Boeing have much better automation in the autopilot, autothrottle, CDU, FMC? Hard to get DME info on an Airbus? Absolutely, James. I agree. I'm joking. Airbus is a great aircraft. We have a lot of banter with Airbus and pilots and Airbus aircraft here, but I have a lot of respect for those guys that fly and the aircraft and its capability. But it's a very different system. It's much more automated in the Airbus, so the aircraft's doing things here. The Boeing is a lot more, let's say, conventional, so you always see where the thrust is. The autopilot, I find, maybe it's just because I'm trained, but I've flown the toeless Airbus on a number of occasions now, probably 5 or 6, and every time I fly it, I find myself trying to work out what it's doing. I really don't like the fact that the thrust is disconnected. For the thrust levers, so in flight the autothrottle can change your thrust, but the thrust levers don't physically move. I still find that very alien. But yeah, we'll fly the toeless again soon. In fact, I have bid for Cross the Pond, and I might do a poll, so you guys decide what I fly. I might not take the ZIBO mod because I've done 2 Cross the Ponds now in the ZIBO mod. But I'm thinking either A300, the Innie-Builds A300. I think that'd be really cool. The 75. Something's telling me to take the 727 empty. If anyone can find out what the ferry range is for the 727, a fully loaded 727 with any passengers, forget it. But I wonder if a ferry 727 could get across the Atlantic. I don't think it ever did, but I love the challenge. So yeah, that or maybe the toeless A319 or 321 Neo take over. Simon JC, I flying the sim, planning on flying the EGSH 733 sometime soon. It's been requested quite a bit again recently. Ironically, the last time we flew the EGSH was into Newcastle, which is where we just departed. Yeah, I think we'll get it out again soon. I think it has been updated. Last time I used it though, their plugin interfered with the Innie-Builds aircraft, stopped it from working, but apparently that's been rectified. So yeah, maybe we'll fly it soon. It is a good aircraft. Mark Wanless, what does the CO button for below the speed display do, and do you use it? Absolutely, this is the changeover mode. So if I was to open the speed window now, it'll command a Mach number because we're above a certain height, and because we're in the cruise levels now, we want to fly Mach numbers. But if I select this, it'll change it over to an indicated airspeed. So you can select between indicated airspeed and Mach number with the speed window open. But with the speed window closed, VNAV via the FMC is pitching for the commanded speed, which at the moment is decimal 755, and then the cruise it will be maintained decimal 764. Usually it's the same. Usually the climb 764 is the same as the cruise and transitions over. Slight discrepancy here in the mod. Beluga, I think that'll be a bit ambitious across the Atlantic directly. Max-wise, the N1 higher on climb thrust than on Toga. The air's a lot less dense here, so there's a lot less thrust coming from the engine per se. So we're running at higher N1s here, but this is where the engine's most efficient, and very high N1s and high Mach numbers. So you'll see as we level off, it'll obviously come back a little bit. But obviously, yes, 99.2% on takeoff is going to be close to full thrust. Mohammed, have you tried the Flight Factor 757? I have, Mohammed. I've got a great link for you. If you have a look here in the link I provided, you'll see a map on Google Maps of every single stream we've done to date, and you can even categorise it on the left-hand side to aircraft, and I think I have a separate flight factor 757 route on it there, so you can see all the streams we've done in the flight factor 757. Annoyingly, I've reached the maximum amount of different colours or options you can use, so I've had to kind of put a lot of streams in like an other aircraft category, which is a bit of a pain, but you might find that interesting. When Tupolev can fly 6,600 kilometres, don't tempt me. Oh my goodness me. I bet not many people don't cross the pond at Tupolev. That reminds me, ZIBO wants me to test something, ladies and gentlemen. So, there's no ATC at the moment. He tells me the beam points function is now working in the FMS. So, we don't actually use this on my operator. But let's imagine ATC just went Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform, route direct to Summum. Okay, so that's fine. Now, if you bring Summum to the top, and there's this beam points button, and what this will do, it will create a line. There should be an arrow here. This doesn't look quite correct here, the way it's displayed. So, ZIBO, I know you're watching. A beam point shouldn't be here. It should be right on the bottom, and I don't think we should have intercept course off the top of my head. But I'll need to look into that. It shouldn't be there between RMP and these dash lines. Anyway, if I select beam points, what should happen, and it should be displaying now, waypoints on the direct line between some being the existing waypoints. So there should be Supple 01, Dolas 01, Banham 01. If I execute it, let's see what happens. Yeah, there we are. So that's worked. So that is now working. The way it's displayed on the ND wasn't exactly on the legs page. That wasn't exactly correct. But we're now routing direct to Summum, and we just created these beam waypoints, Sup 01 and Dol 01. So that's a new feature that's been added to the ZIBO mod. One that's been obviously available in the real aircraft, but hasn't been in the mod until now. So you have this ability to route to a waypoint and create a beam waypoints now, which is pretty cool. But yeah, the display on the ND, on the FMS, it was slightly incorrect. Slightly incorrect. Very cool. Smooth Flying says, hello Flying Sim, how are you? Very well, sir. Thank you very much for popping into this stream this evening. Just in the cruise here at 39,000 feet. And we're near my neck of the woods. That's where I grew up around here. We're just about to fly over the Wash. Is the Wash, East Anglia, Lincolnshire. A lot of RAF, so RAF bombing practice range. Oh, I may start again. There's an RAF bombing practice range in the Wash. So you used to get a lot of tornadoes and now all the Eurofighters, and the US Air Force uses as well. A lot of US Air Force bases here. Lakenheath is one of the biggest ones here. But yeah, we're going to be flying to Brussels first here. And after turn around, we're going to fly back in this direction, but landing in Norwich. Practice wage. Brilliant list of it. Top View, I'm looking at flight training. What is your thoughts on getting into the aviation industry in the current situation? My honest thoughts are Top View, and I say this all the time, and I know people, I even have members who have started flight training recently. I mean, personally, I wouldn't want to start flight training at the moment, just because of the current climate. It's going to be some time for the aviation industry to recover from the COVID-19. It's certainly not on the way out of its recovery. Well, having said that, though, in the US, I've been looking, a lot of airlines are now really ramping up in the US. So I don't know where you are, but in Europe at least, with the restrictions in place, all the different countries having different rules, there's very limited job roles available. You know, my operator not recruiting, several other airlines are not recruiting either. So yeah, you know, I hate saying it, but I would recommend holding off. Maybe if you start your training in a year's time, who knows, but I don't think we're going to see kind of 2019 traffic levels for at least 2 to 3 years. And that's just my personal opinion. It really is based on what the EU do and the governments in Europe. So yeah, we'll see. ETA says CA97. Let's have a look here in the FMS. No delays. We seem to be touching down on the hour pretty much. So 45 minutes from now. Doing an external view. There we are. There is the stapler view. Looking beautiful. Warlad says, how do you get those aircraft on the Avitab map? Never seen that before. I believe that was an update either via Falco for Avitab or I'm guessing it was fault code, but yeah, it just displays traffic on VATSIM. BX7 iOS, have you been to Brussels in real life? Cannot confirm, nor did I. And sorry if you sometimes ask me, you know, have I been there or not. It's just because some people go to some quite incredible lengths to investigate me. I don't know why. And someone once commented to me, I know who you work for. I was like, what do you know? Hold on, Sherlock. But as I've said before, it's just something I like to remain private. My operator is well aware of what I'm doing. They give me full permission. I'm very grateful to be able to stream. To have created the channel 4 years ago now. So yeah, there you go. Mark, High Flight Sim, what is your opinion on the UK licensing issue? Don't really start on that. Do you think the UK CAA will strike a similar deal to that of EASA, enabling UK pilots to fly EU aircraft? Mark, don't get me started on that. I find it extremely confusing in the first place. I mean, when I did my training, it was JAR, transitioned to EASA. But yeah, it's complex, and I don't know exactly how the CAA are going to allow UK license to work. I think there's some funny rules about firing aircraft that are not registered in the UK if you're based in the UK. Don't know. So yeah, a lot of bureaucracy. The CAA is a bit of a quango, if you ask me. But at the end of the day, when I put it this way, when I became a TRI, you know, thankfully my airline paid for the TRI upgrade. But I looked at how much the aviation authority charges for that license. Basically, it's a piece of paper saying you're a TRI. It costs £650. It's just like, what? Anyway, they have an important job as the regulator to ensure everything's correct. So they have an important job, but yeah, it needs a bit of the whole Brexit situation has only made things incredibly complicated. Jonathan, all those tiles you loaded in the starter stream and clouds. Well, thankfully I have all of the ortho for Europe, and I have True Earth for the UK. But again, yes, not that we can really see much of it this evening. Norwich is down there somewhere, but I only have the default Norwich scenery. There was some Norwich scenery available, but it was about 6 years old, and I installed it, and I was like, oh, I think I'll stick with the default one. D-Aviation says, Captain, I want to start flight training in 2 years or so, but I worried that pilots will be replaced by AI in the future. What do you think? Great question, D-Aviation. And it's fair to say that, you know, a lot of people are making great strides to increase the amount of automation. There's a lot of tests being completed to see how AI and robots and computers can control these aircraft, and they can control them with remarkable accuracy. However, it is going to be an extremely long time until you see single pilots in an aircraft like this, let alone two pilots. It's going to be a long time until you see just one pilot, let alone no pilots in a cockpit. Because yes, a computer is great at flying a set profile or mode, but it will not be able to deal with something that it has not been programmed to deal with before. So my example would be an engine failure with a hydraulic leak. I can assure you, you cannot program a computer to be as dynamic as dealing with multiple different scenarios and situations which you could potentially find yourself in one flying one of these aircraft. But yeah, I mean, I always say, why aren't trains automated? Surely a train would be a little bit more of an automated system. And yes, you have those automatic trains at airports and things like that, but we still have train drivers on train lines, but they still have a very important role. They're going to see things which a computer, which you're not programmed to do, is going to be able to deal with. But yeah, that's my opinion anyway. I don't think in my career I'll be replaced by AI, and I've got around 35 years left of flying, so there you go. Right, anyway, we best start talking about this approach into Brussels. We only have 77 miles to go. It's been lovely chatting with you all in chat this evening. Let's get the ICAO code up for Brussels, which is EBBR. There we are, arrival. And we're going to be flying, well no, we got a brand new routing from ATC, didn't we? So we're coming in now via Coxie. I think it was going to be a Coxie 7 Alpha. There we are. Was it a Coxie 7 Alpha? was. So Coxie 7 Alpha, but this time via Kerry. So I don't know why that's UK gave us this rerouting. Gave us anything wrong with the original routing. There we are, that's looking good. So that's going to be the arrival. That's interesting. This chart is completely different to my operator's charts. We have different flight plan format. Ours goes from Kerry, and then we're actually going to be flying a transition via Antwerp. So it'll be 25 right, Zulu or Yankee. So there we are. It's actually got the transition there. So have one of those. Have one of those. Huge airport here. Five right. It's like a mini Heathrow, isn't it? That's how Heathrow used to look like. What I've always found funny in Brussels is the runways that they're not parallel. So you've got 25 right is heading 244, and 25 left is 249. So they actually go towards each other. I wonder why. Maybe they built it wrong at the start. I've always wondered. Parking stats. There we are. So we've got all the charts we need. We'll start now loading up the flight management computer with all the information it needs. Here's the FMC, and the forecast win page is here. So, VNAV descent page 250, below 100. Forecast winds are in 310, 200, and 100. We have winds 256 to 75. 200, it is 258 and 57. And 100, we have 257 and 33. Winds are in, executed, expected 25 right, so we'll select runway 25 right, bring the fixed page up, 10 mile ring, we'll select flap 1 before then, flap 4, 4 mile ring, expect to configure gear down flap 15, and we're at 39,000 feet, so that's going to be 17 for around our top descent point, which is coming up, only 40 miles away. So, FMC is loaded. Let's just bring up the ILS chart here, just get the frequency course minimum set, so frequency 108.9. And the course is 244. And 244, and we have the minimum 302 feet. That is set. There's an outer marker on NDB. Yes, there is 402, so we can tune that up. 402. We'll select ADF on the EFIS panel. Standby RMI. Perfect. So frequency courses minimums. I think we have everything set up for the approach. So we go here to VNAV. So what do you got to think about Brussels? Well, let's have a little look at the briefing of this airport. So this is the briefing documentation from my operator. It talks about noise, really strict noise monitoring here. They want you to use idle reverse thrust unless for safety reasons. So we're going to plan for idle reverse here. Expect runway 25 right to vacate at Alpha 9, it says. Oh no, Bravo 9, Bravo 9. There's Bravo 7 available. Don't cook the brakes trying to vacate at Bravo 7. You can expect for the arrival, carry transition, and then vectors. And speed requirements are strict. Complex airport, be careful of the noise abatement as well. But otherwise, not too difficult. There's plenty of precision approaches available. ILS is 2 long runways, or 3 long runways I should say, so lots of options there. So, we're going to be coming in via Coxie VOR, so we don't need to tune it, but you can see it is only, 60 miles ahead from Coxie. We go here to the plan page. Try to get it all in view for you, there we are. So we're going to be going from Coxie Bravo Romeo 201, which I believe is this waypoint here, and a speed limit point of 250 knots, that's coded here. Next to Kerry, and there's holding there, that's the initial approach fix for the arrival into Brussels. That's it. So if you lose communications, follow the guidance here. Depending on traffic conditions, you may be cleared to hold somewhere else. That's it, really. There's no other pertinent information. You see there's holds all around Brussels here, being such a large international airport, so it's all looking good. So from Kerry, we can expect this transition if we don't get vectors. So from Kerry 070 to the Bruno VOR. Actually, we've got Antwerp here, so we need to change this routing slightly. So Kerry to Bun, execute. There we are. So we've fixed that now. You see how our original routing had us coming in via Antwerp. We're now coming in via Kerry, so that's fixed. We can check the track 069, 070, so I'm happy that's the same. Once we get to Kerry, Bruno VOR, it's going to be a right turn, and we can go down to 2,000 feet onto the centre fix of the runway. So that's all coded correctly. 2,000 feet or above coming in at the centre fix there. That is executed. Rohit says in India pilots are allowed to disclose about the company they work in. Your opinion? I don't think it's good. I mean, Rohit, I'm allowed to disclose the company I work for. My operator has no problem with that, but I just choose not to, so there's no comparison really. Why everyone is so obsessed to know who I work for, not sure.
30, 20, 10.
Love where I work, and I hope to continue to work there for the rest of my career. Toshko, thanks a lot for your donation.
Hello, Captain. My colleague wants to know if planes have built-in waving systems at the landing gear. A TUI 737 took off one.
I've read about
2 tons
that.
overweight. Does the 737 have such a system, and if not, why not?
Why not? Toshko, brilliant question. The quick answer is no. It doesn't have an ability to weigh itself. You need to have some scales. So the TUI incident I read about this morning because it was shared kind of online and stuff, and that was a small error with the loading documentation. So when we calculate our landing performance, we use estimated weights. So we presume that an adult weighs 85 kilos of my operator and a child weighs 35. In reality, once we use all those figures, we then can work out the weight of the aircraft. Now, these are obviously these weights are much higher than what we'd expect them to actually be, so the aircraft is going to be much lighter than it actually is on the performance. Now, what's happened in that instance, I think they used women instead of men or something like that, and there was a discrepancy of 1.2 tons. In the whole grand scheme of things, was it dangerous? No, because the aircraft is unlikely to be that much difference in weight anyway with the estimated passenger figures. Should it have happened? Absolutely not. There was an error there, and it was a serious incident. It needs to be interviewed here. But if you are interested, there's a very serious incident where the crew, I think, made a 100-ton difference. If I remember rightly, it was a Boeing 747-400. It took off from Auckland, and it was in 2003, years ago. That caused some serious damage because the aircraft was 100 tons heavier when they fought off. They rotated. They scraped the entire rear of the aircraft along the rear there. But yeah, great question, and thank you very much for your donation. Right, anyway, Brussels wants me to contact them, 131.1. Check in with them and see what they want
hotel with me. Portugal 648 hotel. Portugal 648 hotel, descent flight level 12, expect 25 left. Flight level 120, 25 left, Portugal 648 hotel.
Brussels radar, very good evening. Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform, maintaining flight level 390 inbound to Maddox, request descent.
Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform, hello, descent flight level 250, fly heading 170.
Descent flight level 250 and radar heading 170 degrees, Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform. So 250 is set. I'm going to go level change. The reason is I'm going on a radar heading from ATC. And he's probably got some traffic near us there. So heading select. I'll push out into vent Salvina if we're descending. That activates descent.
648 hotel, speed 250 knots, maintain present heading.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Thank you very much, Alex, for your $5.
Hey Cap, can you show me where the cost index is on Simbrief? I can't seem to figure it out.
Absolutely, Alex.
120 in descent, flight level 120, Ryanair 50.
So, cost index, I just use a fixed one of 30 for Alpaca Airways, and it's always displayed on a Lido flight plan on the top right here. And in Simbrief you have the option of leaving it in auto, you can actually select your cost index. I always select it to a manual of 30. So that's where it's displayed. Simple as that. And cost index is, we don't decide the cost index is calculated by the company, but it's just several factors: cost of fuel, cost of maintenance. So you just select whatever's on the flight plan. At my operator, we have a sort of fixed / variable cost index, so sometimes it can change from the fixed one. There we are, thank you very much for your donation. Right, where did we get to? I think we briefly arrived, and we just got onto the ILS here. Just control the...
118.250, 14 Mike Juliet. Bye bye. Alpaca 280, speed 250.
That's better.
Speed 250, correction 250, not Alpaca 280.
Alpacas everywhere.
Alpaca 6 Bravo Victor.
Cool, so we just got to brief the ILS guys, I think. We got up to here. Yes, we got to the centre fix, and we discussed the transition, didn't we? So, ILS frequencies. Descend flight level 230, Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform. So, 1089 is active on both sides. We'll put Brussels on standby 14.6.
3000 feet, 1012, we'll call you when established, 12 Kilo Lima.
And courses are set 244 as well. We can double check the FMS InitRef page. You can see here 1089, 244. Outer marker, we're going to pass at 1430 feet. Platforms at 2000 feet. We're going to do mandatory level at 2000 feet at 6 miles. So that Foxtrot 25 right is 6 miles with 5.7. That's the point there. And then we're going to descend on a 3-degree ILS. There's the flight. Speed 250 knots, A firm, Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform. So just slowing down for him, 250, that's why I'm in level change. Not really worried about the profile at this stage, he's just getting some separation I think with traffic, which is why he's heading us off in this direction. There's all going on here. Right, minimums are set 302. RVR required 800 metres here, and if I have to go around, it will be climb on track 244, so runway QDM at 700 feet, make a right turn track 015, climb to 3000 feet as directed, so straight ahead, 800 feet, sorry 700 feet, right turn onto a heading, climb to 3000 feet, and we have,
there is a lot of traffic, expect some delay,
and vectors there as well, perfect. So,
Alpaca 280 confirmed.
high performance left to do. Expecting 25 right. Could be 25 left, but considering we're coming from the north, I expected 25 right. Left heading 120 degrees. Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform.
Ryanair 5 Sierra Papa, left heading 090.
090, Ryanair 5 Sierra Papa.
So 25 right. 3,600 metres available. I'm going to go for Bravo 9 here, and I think that's going to be flat 30 or to break 2. Bravo 7 might be able to do that with the performance, but obviously with the noise here we discussed can be noise sensitive. Our alternate Charleroi, we need 1.8 tons. So we have at least 30 minutes of fuel extra. So that's about 300 kilos now with no delays, so it's going to be 57.4 for our landing weight. Flat 30, auto brake 2, idle reverse, and we'll take the first left at a suitable speed, which will be Bravo 9, Bravo 7, maybe Bravo 6, depending on the traffic situation. We can help out ATC, and then we'll taxi on to stand, which could be anywhere. Exciting. There we are. So below 30,000 feet, we can select 25 degrees. What's that for me? There we are, turn 87.
Ryanair 5 Echo November, direct Bravo, uniform November.
That's Ryanair 5 Echo.
Direct Bravo, uniform November, Ryanair 5 Echo.
Perfect, so yeah, one vectors now. I'm just going to route direct to that next waypoint here, tidy up the FMS. FMS has been fixed now a little bit. It had a few issues with modifying routes and stuff recently, but yeah, it's looking good. This version here, VNAV seems to be working correctly. And we're just kind of mirroring the profile in level change. And obviously we're under speed restriction now, 250 knots. So we'll actually tell the FMS that that's our new target speed, execute, and that will rebuild the profile based off 250. Just a slight change there, you see. The controller sounds like he has a microphone from the 50s. Doesn't it a bit? Like what Elvis Presley sang it to.
Controller 26, I want 2 kilo Lima.
Similarly, do you ever use the heads-up display? No, at my operator we don't have them. I've got a good friend of mine who's helps moderate these streams occasionally, Pilot Mike787, and helps me run my Discord as well. He has HUD at his operator, but he doesn't like it either. That looks a bit ominous. If I saw this cloud in real life, I'd be a bit like, there's nothing coming up on the weather radar. Someone's blocking the frequency.
Alpaca 291, radar descent flight level 230, continue copy 7 Alpha arrival.
Blocked.
Alpaca 291, descent flight level 230,
Gonna get busy for the controller.
Alpha arrival.
Descent flight level 230.
So we just made landfall now, we're over Belgium. Not too far from Dunkirk actually. Well, that's Bruges, but Dunkirk's on here on the right. Just behind us.
Alpaca 1, Romeo uniform left 090, descent flight level 120, expedite.
Left 090 degrees, descent cleared level, we're expediting.
120.
120 and left heading 090 degrees, Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform. So you're under a speed restriction, he also wants me to expedite, so I've got no choice but to use speed brake. That's the best I can do because he wants me to fly 250 knots as well. So speed brake's out, I'll increase our rate of descent. That said again is a little bit below our profile, but we need to comply with ATC's request to expedite our descent.
11850, thank you, ran us other number.
Transavia 6622, descent flight level 160 to be level and...
Captain, if says Norwich is my home airport, I'm very happy. Yeah, looking forward to flying there for the first time.
Danish 24 Charlie, fly heading 270. Heading 270, that's 24
So that's the best route I can give him at this speed.
Contact Brussels arrival 118.25.
11825, speed there 398, Romeo, thanks.
Very cool.
Steelers 3, 0 wings 2 Charlie.
This guy is so busy.
Flight level 70, climbing out 1,000 feet per minute.
It's very specific information for the controller. Unless it was told to maintain 1,000 feet per minute.
Level 70, Steelers 393.
Amsterdam, Brussels Control, Air Bologna 06 and flight level 390 inbound Quebec. Alpha Papa November 106, radar contact.
Brussels, 0 wings 2 Mar Charlie.
So obviously on a vector at the moment, but we're kind of heading towards Carrier on that radar vector. We've got the speed brake out as well, because ATC wants us to expedite our descent now. And if you're ever, as a passenger, wondering what the pilot's doing, this could be one of the many things we do. Whereas with the speed brake out is an example.
118.250, thanks for ATC, so bye-bye.
Not in my airspace, sir.
Scotty 2, at least you haven't got a train companion Jim creepily staring at you saying, oh my god, that was so funny when we were playing on a train sim on Wednesday with that guy with his very long neck. Reminded me of that guy from Men in Black, you know, the guy who had a really extendable neck. And when the tunnel with all the lights off, I was half expecting.
Romeo uniform descent flight level 80, speed 250 knots.
Descent flight level 80 and speed 250 knots, Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform. Do you still need a good rate for descent?
Yes, please.
Keep it up. Perfect. So 250 speed brakes out. He still wants us to get down as low as possible. It's going to leave us a bit low for our profile, but again, it's ATC wants us there. We have to comply with his instructions.
Airline 1 Alpha Charlie, flight level 350.
Aeronaut 1 Alpha Charlie, radar contact, maintain flight level 350.
Hendrik, are there faster speaking ATCs than in Spain? Air traffic control does sometimes like to speak fast, but pilots had or can have a tendency on the radio to speak very quickly. It was an issue I had when I started my flying. I used to speak too quickly. The instructor drilled it into me eventually to slow down because you're not getting all the information there. So if you ever hear people going, up at 1 Romeo uniform, 7 flight level 200, it's too quick. You know, it'll just say repeat itself. Yeah, just take your time. It's far better to do it slower so you don't have to repeat yourself. But yeah, try and keep your text, keep your voice nice and calm, nice and slow. And I'm guilty of it when I get busy as well.
Speedway 393, climb flight level 80.
Climb flight level 80 to 393.
Right, cycle the belts, even though they've been
Alpaca
on time.
1 Romeo uniform, contact Brussels arrival 118.250, good day.
118.250, Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform. Thanks a lot, the ATC, and we'll see you soon. Bye. Perfect. So I'm actually going to get rid of the speed brake here because we're going to end up so low otherwise that we're 4,000 feet. I'll just tell him we're going to 50 knots. 25 left.
280, request the history, please. It's going to be a left turn 270 degrees.
Left turn 270 degrees, November uniform Delta.
Qantas 51 present heading, cleared ILS runway 25 left.
Present heading, clear the ILS 25 left, Qantas 5.
Brussels, very good evening. Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform, descending flight level 80 on a radar heading of 090 degrees 250 knots.
Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform, hello, so roger, radar contact flight 135, vectors out for the ILS 25 left, descend flight level 80.
Descend flight level 80, expecting vectors ILS 25 left, Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform. So, different runway than planned, not a big deal, you know, especially if it's in the same direction. So, we'll have to go here to ILS Zulu 25 left, it's going to be the same arrival, we'll leave in the FMS, and we'll put the carry transition back in. There we are, so we've got 25 left selected, best figures is go to the route page, and then you can check there, ILS 25 left, Zulu, perfect. Let's get the chart out.
50, 40, 30, 20,
Mr.
10.
Chiricho. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Thanks for the donation.
Buy yourself a Jack and Coke next time you're at work.
Jack Daniels and a Coke. I probably won't have the Jack, but I'll have the Coke. Thanks, Noah. Very kind. Talking about Jack, look who's just walked in. That's good timing. Did you hear that come up on the radio? Oh, he's just got my headset off. Jack's my Labrador, everyone. Thank you very much, Noah. Very, very kind. I must have heard me say Jack in an excited way. Right, anyway. Instead of my dog trying to get attention off me, I'm bloody scarfed out. Let's have a look at ILS 75 left. So, 25 left. Frequencies are 110.35.
Alpaca 4, 14 Mike Juliet, right turn 280 degrees, cleared ILS 25 left.
520 degrees, cleared ILS 25 left,
1035. So always think with runway changes, what do I need to change? It's three things. Frequencies, courses, and minimums. So frequencies we've done, courses, and minimums. They're the main things you need to remember to do. Minimums are 350, so a little bit higher. Additionally, a few other things you'll need to do if you've done it is fixed rings. So now they're based off a different runway, so very important you change that because you'll be looking at the fixed rings reference to the runway.
1 Romeo uniform, left turn 060 degrees.
Left turn heading 060 degrees, Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform. Otherwise you'll be referencing
Qantas 5, contact
rings based off a different runway. So 10, don't need to worry about 3 times your height at this stage. And landing performance as well, because it's a different runway here. So 25 left, it's a little bit shorter, but same applies. We're going to try to take the first right instead of the first left now. So if we can take Charlie 2 or Charlie 4, that'll help ATC out quite a bit. So I'm going to keep the performance as it is, just double check again. 300 kilos to burn, so landing weight's now 57.3. And I'm going to use flat 30, order brake 2, and that should be fine for Charlie 4. So we've covered everything, frequencies, courses, minimums, fixed rings, performance, happy days, you know, we actually check the EGNT properly here. And now we can do the post-cruise check. So super busy, but very important when you have a runway change to get that loaded as soon as you can. Right, fuel line, SAQ is off, we've got 3.6 tons on board, pressurisation 3.0 set.
220 knots or less for
seatbelts on, recall, checks complete. One to go.
280, left turn
speed 1060.
2 zeros.
Hello from Antwerp. Hi, Stephen.
280, cross second,
evening to you.
please.
Alpha 280, I stand by here. Alpha 280 is going to be right turn 270 now.
Right 270.
Excellent. Guys, if you are enjoying the stream, don't forget to smash the thumbs up button. Exactly the Wiz 100. A pitiful 190 likes with 502 people watching. Abysmal. 20% of viewers have not liked them. 80% of my viewers have not liked it. But yeah, it does go a long way to help the channel out. Bring in your audience. So thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I don't expect you to like every video, but like your favourite ones. Thanks, guys. Cool. Look at that. Thanks a million, guys.
Roger. Expect that. Actors, you're identified.
MGS1, Byron to ask the question, +1 for that. Oh, let me find it. Is there a preference to set minimums via barrow radio? At my operator, we use only barrow minimums for Cat 1 ILS or non-precision approach. For radio, we use it for Cat 2, Cat 3 auto lands. That's the difference between two. Some operators might use them differently, but here we use them.
Descend 4,000 feet and
right, anyway, sorry about the chart flicking. I'm looking for a suitable one. There we are. So our vectors, sort of following the transition really, but just like in real life. Oh wow, they're all online in Brussels. We've got approach, departure frequency. We've got ground, 2 ground frequencies, and 2 delivery frequencies, and ATIS. Very good. I did see they're online this evening anyway. Thank you, Jean. Very nice approach.
Right, 5 Echo November, right 10 to 120 degrees.
Yes, these 2 sector days, I always try to keep the sectors around an hour long, so it's a little bit more intensive. Not so much time to answer all your queries, so don't ever feel like I'm ignoring you. That is definitely not the case, guys. It's not easy managing every single pilot. I do a reasonably good job of it, but interacting with chassis, sometimes I can miss a lot of questions at this stage here. But, I do some longer flights as you will. What on earth is that? Is that actually something here? I genuinely didn't know that was there. There's something that's 587 feet high, but that that looks like it's 2,500 feet up. I mean, look, we're at flight level 80, and that's about almost halfway there. What is that? Concerning. I think it's the road. My, that's a slight issue. Anyone around the Brussels area seen this landmark before? I don't think that's
Runner 5 Echo November, right turn 210 degrees.
5 Echo November. What is this monument? I know in Brussels you have the, I always forget the name of it, it looks like an atom. in Brussels. I don't know much. I've never actually visited Belgium before, so do excuse my lack of knowledge of the area, but I'm quite certain this road feature is not here.
Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform, descent to altitude 4,000 feet, QNH 1012.
Descent 4,000 feet, QNH 1012, Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform. 4,000 feet set, level change, set QNH 1012, passing 8,000, 4,000 feet, standby altimeter is set.
Alpaca 6 Bravo Victor, April 3 runway switch to ILS 25 right.
Love it.
Alpaca 6 Bravo Victor, roger, right 1022.
No problem for this guy. Yep,
right.
runway change, no problem.
Right turn 220.
You can do the same as well.
November Uniform Delta, I need you to establish, please, ILS 25 left, now left turn 220.
Someone's having a nightmare. This is Antwerp. The Antomium, thanks guys.
Looks like you're configured for ILS 25 right, brake, speedbird 39 right, Romeo.
Control looks very busy. So it looks like we're going off a little bit in this direction, guys. You see the traffic below us and ahead of us. So I'm just going to revert to vertical speed, just around 500 feet per minute. Just because we're not going straight in here. We're not going to get cut in here. So it's just building a picture with the traffic around. You know, if we were going to get a direct right turn to 10 mile final, I'd have kept it in level change.
Stand by, brake runner 5 Echo November, reduce speed 200 knots.
Oh, have I got my geography already wrong?
180 knots to left runner 5 Echo
Where's the Antomium? I don't even know.
Runner 5 Echo November, left turn 150 degrees.
Left turn 150 degrees,
Quickly.
runner 5 Echo November.
Where's Google? It is in
Runway
Brussels.
237, maintain
Ah,
present
someone said
heading.
it's in Antwerp. Thank goodness for that. Lee H, hi Captain, it seems as though engine anti-ice is used much more than wing anti-ice. Why is this? A fantastic question, Lee H. I will get a little tutorial for you on how and why that is, because I made a tutorial 3 years ago on the engine and wing anti-ice systems and when you use both of them. You're quite right. Engine anti-ice is used as a kind of a preventative anti-icing feature. We don't want ice on the engine cowlip, whereas the engine wing ice generally is used as a de-icer, is to remove ice from the leading edge of the wing. But if you look at that tutorial there I've just shared in chat, that explains the engine and wing anti-ice systems on the 737 and when we'd use them.
Runner 5 Echo Unit, correction, runner 5 Echo November, right turn 280
So very busy here, we're going a little bit further out the airport, look 22 miles out, we really want to reduce that rate of descent now.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Thanks a lot Flying with Pascal for your donation there, that was very very kind. What have you said here?
Better butter that landing.
Thanks, American Microsoft J. Better butter the landing. Thank you very much, Flying Pascal, very kind. Ah yes, very well done Andy.
Danish 24
You missed a HC call for slower speed, did I?
Descend 4000 feet, QNH 1012, move Danish 24 Charlie. Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform, report your indicated airspeed.
250 knots, Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform.
1 Romeo uniform, roger, reduce speed 220 knots or less.
220 knots or less, Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform. Might have missed that then.
And 1 Romeo uniform, right turn 180 degrees.
Right turn heading 180 degrees, Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform. Perfect, so...
398 Romeo, right turn 220 degrees.
Right 220, speed pursuing
We're heading now in the right direction.
Runner 237, left turn 090 degrees.
Look at the sunset.
Turn right.
Runner 237, negative, left turn please.
Uh-oh.
Left turn, 0
So, quite far out.
I'll pick it 6 Bravo Victor Tower, well 8.6.
But yeah, he's managing all this traffic quite well. You can see the separation.
Portugal 648 Tower, well 8.6.
Just going to keep it at vertical speeds, 500 feet per minute, 220 knots.
Your wings 2 Mike Charlie.
Your wings 2 Mike Charlie.
Stand by, call you back.
You're just checking that guy was on frequency.
Okay, Danish 24 Charlie, reduce speed 220 knots or less.
What airline's Danish, or is that a fictional one like Alpaca? I've not heard of a call sign Danish.
220 knots or less. Correction, Alpaca 280, speed 220 knots or less.
David Robbage, carnage on the ground in Brussels, told to go around at 200 feet, so I disconnected. Oh no. Not 200, I've been told to go around at 50 feet once before.
398 Romeo, descend altitude 4,000 feet, cleared
Big
out.
enough airport. That there is no event this evening in Brussels. I think they probably weren't expecting quite as much traffic. Have a tendency of bringing a little bit more traffic these days. Infof, why is your ICO VCP interesting choice for Alpaca's? Latin, it's the Latin. For Alpaca. I always forget the word though.
It'll be eyelash runway 25 left.
Oh, Lars, Danish is Danish Air Transport. Thanks a lot, Lars. Did not know that.
Runner 5 Sierra Papa, right turn 220 degrees.
So we're doing everything we can. We're flying crested speed. We're trying to maintain a CDA. Thanks, David. It's Vicungabacos. That is Latin for Alpaca. That's where VCP comes from.
Alpaca 280, right turn 180 degrees.
Right 180 degrees, Alpaca 280.
Alpaca 291, descent at altitude 4,000 feet, QNH 102.
It's going to get super busy here, especially with the separation, so I'll just get the alerts in case I miss a HC call at this critical phase.
Alpaca 6 Mike Whiskey, proceed direct Bruno.
Now let's do the approach check. So, frequencies 110.5, 11035, 11035, and 11035 is just waiting for the ident. So looking for India Bravo Lima. So a little bit far out here. India Bravo Lima is what we're looking for. Hasn't been identified yet. And
Alpaca 280, speed 200.
course is 249, 249.
That's all
checked.
2901, left turn 03.
Approach check's complete, so just waiting for the idents.
Left turn 03.
Next train has a tendency of doing that quite late.
Vivid 3908 Romeo, Tower 118.6.
Tower 118.6.
MGS1, would you advise to join during the streams in case not much?
Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform, right turn 222 degrees.
Right turn heading 220 degrees, Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform. Oh, I was trying to get my words out there, not very well. Would I recommend you join? I'd recommend some experience on that, so I wouldn't say, you know, join a network and then join on one of my group flights straight away, because I'd say these days on the network, usually when I stream, there's at least half a dozen people that join, if not more. But I know one of the members joined this evening, and it was his first time with me. He was a little bit apprehensive too, but I said, no, join it. If you struggle, you know, it's no problem just telling AC, oh, you know, it's a bit too much, I'll log off. You know, don't want to do that, obviously, that's the last thing you want to do. There's no shame in that. I've logged off several times because of the huge amount of traffic. It seems to be ridiculous. But yeah, what can you do? Right, anyway. Identified in your Bravo Lima, DME's counting down. We've got localizer to the left, glide step above, so looking good. Approaching at a clear altitude. Jean says flaps, we're still 20 miles out. Don't want the flaps out just yet. Waste of fuel. PFD Magenta line is misbehaving. Not at all. Absolutely not. The Magenta line is working perfectly. I just haven't updated it. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. There you are. That is exactly what would happen in real life if you didn't update it. Locked.
Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform, on present heading cleared out, approach runway 25 left.
On heading cleared, ILS 25 left, Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform. I only said that because I knew it was for me with that coming in there. Right, localizer is armed. Right, localizer live, localizer capture. Runway heading is 249 set. We've cleared ILS as well. We're going to level off at 4,000. Not much we can do about that. And try to fly and continue to descend all the way down. We can extend the centre line as well. There's no need to do this, but it does tidy up the ND. Put 249 in.
Alpaca 2901, right turn 183.
Now we're on the centre line, makes no difference. There we go. So we will level off at 4,000.
Right, 237, speed 220 knots or less.
There's traffic 5 miles ahead, so we're going to keep a close eye on this guy because
some
guys do have a tendency of configuring a little bit early on that sim, which there's nothing wrong with that at all. Don't ever consider that. I obviously configured a bit later based on my operator's SOPs. He's getting very close. I'm going to start slowing down. I know it's going to be 220 knots. Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform, any speed. See, the traffic's quite close ahead.
Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform, stand by on that.
He's just realised the separation is okay. 4 miles is sort of like the minimum required. We cleared approach, so we can arm approach now as well. And I'm going to select
flat 1.
It's okay at the moment. Don't want to be much closer to 3 miles.
Runner 5 Sierra Papa, ASAP Tower 118.6.
Tower 118.6. Flat 5, I'm sort of taking it into my own now.
Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform, at this time, speed 180 knots or less, Tower 118.6.
180 or less, Tower 118.6, looks great to see. Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform, bye.
Thanks, bye-bye.
So 180 or less, we'll just go flat 5 bug. Glide slope capture, yeah, we just better check the missed approach for the runway here, so the runway change. Climb on track 249, 700 feet left turn, max 185 knots, so hold at flat 5, heading 105, kind of 4,000 feet, then as directed, and we have 4,000 feet there from sea. Perfect, over to tower. So separation, here's a really good tip that was actually given to me in my line training years ago. When there's traffic ahead on a 3-degree ILS, you want a separation no more than 3 miles. So long as they're no more than 1,000 feet below you should be fine. When it gets within 1,000 feet, so if it says -09, it's going to be tight, but as long as it's beyond 1,000 feet, it should be enough separation, so long as they kind of exit in an expeditious manner. But if this is getting below 1,000 feet, usually within 2.5 miles, it's getting tight. But you're okay here at the flat 5 speed. This guy hasn't slowed down as much as I anticipated.
Clear to land, 25 left, speed 398 Romeo.
Tower, very good evening. Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform, establish ILS 25 left, approaching 9 miles, 160 knots.
Correction, Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform, Brussels shower. Hello sir, the wind is calm, runway 25 left, continue approach. Your number 2 shortly becoming number 1.
Continue approach, Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform. Excellent! So looking good.
Ryanair
We'll hold it at flat 5 until 4 miles. Oh,
Continue straight ahead, Charlie 4 cross.
I think, is that guy logged off?
On the other side of
I think he's logged off. Who's doing a great job, the guy ahead of the approach? Oh.
Cross.
Looks like we're number 1 now.
Cross to Echo 3 and contact ground. 121875. Ryanair 5 Echo number.
Something else, 118875.
Beeline 25 kilo, I told you to line up in sequence, confirm landing up.
Sorry for that, we've got a problem with the headphones. Lining up now, below 20 kilo.
Let's 25 right. So, carry on as we are.
Charlie 4.
Back ATM via Charlie 4, speed 398 Romeo.
398 Romeo, Roger, welcome. And welcome to the heart of Europe. Continue straight ahead.
Beautiful, look at the sun setting as well.
I could free on the other side, ground 1 to Monday, decimal 875, go ahead.
Excellent.
Continue Charlie 4 and clear crossing runway 0119 and contact ground, speed 398 Romeo, thanks.
Beautiful.
Alpha Command Romeo uniform, speed 160 until 4, runway 25 left, you're clear to land.
160 till 4 and runway 25 left, clear to land. Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform. So put the taxi light on, remind us we've got our landing clearance and we'll continue to 4 miles. Philippe, 2 legs today, nice. Yes, going to Norwich straight after this. And very short sector, next sector should be 45 minutes. So yeah, nice 2 sector day today. So far doing well, 2 hours streaming. Perfect, so he wants 160 till 4, we'll help him out with that. And we'll start configuring very shortly. And I'll show you how we configure at 4 miles. It's just the perfect distance when you're fully stabilised. So there is 4 miles, gear down, flat 15, match the speed, landing checklist to flaps, start switch is continuous, recall is checked, speed brake on green light, landing gear, down tree green, order brake is set to 2. We can now select the flap for landing, flat 30. We need to be fully stabilised with checks complete by 500 feet AGL, top of the amber bar. So flaps wait until they're indicated they are. So flaps verify on this page, we have 30 required and 30 with the green lights. Landing lights are on, checks complete, and the ZIBO mod now comes into its own. The target attitude and thrust is precisely where I'd expect it to be in the very aircraft at this gross weight. 55%, 144 knots, our gross weight is around 57 tons. It's pretty much perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Disconnecting autopilot, disconnecting auto throttle, push that to clear it. No wins, no excuses. There's a bit too much thrust there, there's a sensitivity of my little thrust lever. So 500 feet AGL, pilot monitoring will continue or go around based on the stabilised approach trying to... Perfect. Checked, so approaching minimums, looking good, a little bit left of centre line, so I'll make that change. So speed's a little bit low there.
Minimums.
Continue, keep it descending now.
100.
Looking good. Ooh, a little bit high.
50. 40. 30.
Check.
20.
Close. Hold the attitudes. And hopefully pray for a butter. Come on. Oh, it must be there soon. Oh, what a bit of a float. Whoops. Right, nice butter. Right, speed brake up. Idle reverse, remember for noise. There's 100 knots. There's 80
knots.
RIP FPS. 20 FPS there. 60 knots. Manual braking. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Brussels.
Danish 204 Charlie, Brussels, Charlie, hello sir, the wind is calm, runner 25 left, continue approaching number 2.
I wonder if it's to do with the night lighting, because I usually get, yeah, I think I might have to switch the time back a couple of hours. Keep an eye on it. Right, anyway, there's Charlie 5.
Mike, clear to launch, runway 25 left. Yeah, Alpha 280, just in time, the wind's calm.
Just in time, oh no!
Left, you're clear to land. Runway 25 left, clear to launch.
Yeah, plenty. Oh, look at the traffic on final, beautiful, 1, 2, 3.
Ryanair 6 Yankee
So just bring it to a stop here, confirm the instructions from ATC.
For the best turn, the wind's calm, runway 25 level right, you're cleared for takeoff.
Take off runway 25 right, Ryanair 6
Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform, vacated 25 left at Charlie 5.
Papa 1.
Lufthansa 2, Mike, Papa, Brussels, Charlie, hello.
There's a Nigel there as well. Where did he come from?
25 right, line up and wait.
Alabama wait, sequence runway 25 right, left to good maximum.
Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform vacated Charlie 5.
5 Mike Charlie, Bravo 3.
Now guys, please, one by one, you're all chatting over each other and I can't listen to any one of you. So first it was Alpaca 291 calling, I think.
I don't understand why controllers get frustrated by that, because we don't do it on purpose and we don't know when we're talking on top of each other because we transmit at the same time. Happens. Anyway, I can't go anywhere until...
25 left, continue Alpaca 291.
Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform vacated Charlie 5.
Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform Roger with ground 121.875 by break Alpaca 280 expedited
He's super busy. 121875.
Charlie 4 up.
There we are. Brussels ground, very good evening. Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform vacated 25 left Charlie 5.
Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform, good evening to you. Expect gate 206 right. Taxi right onto the inners at NF8, hold short of Sierra.
Okay, expecting stand 206 right, taxi inner, and at inner 8, hold short of Sierra. Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform. Right, so taxi inner, so it's a kind of second right here. We obviously wouldn't be holding here for as long as we just were. And it's a little bit clearer here, inner 10, we'll try and find the stand 206 right and hold short of Sierra. So, we're just going to try and locate where Sierra is. Uniform Tango, Sierra. So we're just going to carry on the inner and then hold short of the Sierra gate here. So we've probably got traffic to come out. But here's the inner and we can carry on with the rest of the cleanup. Looking good. Very well done. The ATC. So we'll do the full proper cleanup because we are going to be taking this aircraft without shutting the sim down to the next sector. So out off, trim to 4 units. No, I'm trying not to look up, I'm trying to reset the trim. This is on my hat view. So 4 units of trim is set. Order brake to RTO, altitude to 4,100. We'll reset the speeds. Flight directors can come off. Strobes to steady, start switches to off, landing lights off, and get your head up here, probe heats off as well, and that's it. Oh yes, don't forget as well, part of the checklist, turn on the taxi music. Perfect. That was a lovely approach, nicely done by ATC. And yeah, this scenery, just sim, really nice scenery. I like some of just sim scenery. The textures and the details are very nice. What's the FPS now? It seems to improve slightly. Yeah, 30 FPS. I think we'll stay live time. It'll be quite nice to do a kind of dusk night approach into Norwich, and then next sector in the mod we can look perhaps departing Norwich for the first time. Why altitude set to 4,100, said Lawrence Smith. That reminds us we don't have the clearance for our next sector, so when we get our clearance, we set that to the... well, we don't have the clearance, we round it up just to the nearest 100 feet. It doesn't matter what you can say here. If you know what the clearance is, you could perhaps say it's 80. I'm not saying it is, but you put 81. But we always put a plus 100 to remind us we still haven't got our clearance yet. We need to get it. Weather radar off, thanks Lee Richards. Well spotted.
Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform, contact ground 118.05, bye-bye.
118.05, Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform, thanks ATC, we'll speak soon, bye. Perfect.
Brussels ground, speeder 3 and 8, Romeo is at inner 8, holding at Sierra.
Perfect, so exactly behind him, and we are expecting stand 206 right, I think it was. So it's right in the corner here on the apron, so that's where we'll go.
Airport 0648 Hotel, yeah, I see some bodies found there. You can take the next stand, 114.
Hi Jackson, thank you very much for the £2 donation. He says, what's the song you're playing? It is called...
398 Romeo, very good evening again. Check squawk mode Charlie.
It's called Say Goodbye by Ron Jelinas. Ron Jelinas. That's the name of the song here. My taxi and intro music. And thank you very much for the donation. Ground, good evening. Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform. We are on inner 8, takes away holding short of Sierra, expecting stand 206 right.
Alpaca 1 Romeo uniform, very good evening. Taxi to stand 206 right via Sierra.
206 right via Sierra. I'll pack up on road 4, thank you. You need a music command. Can you actually link that to Spotify? Because the playlist I have is called Chill Lounge Copyright Free.
Ethiopian 3715
to wait here for Norwich to get out of the way.
For the moment, taxi to holding point Alpha 6 via November, hold short runway 25 right.
Alpha 6, hold short. No, hold
Is he actually moving? It's not, is he? There he is. Very slowly. There he goes. So as soon as we turn into the apron, we'll get the APU started. Reset the clock.
Requesting pushback from stand 167.
Very busy here in Brussels. Very cool.
Beeline 44, push approved, face east,
Signals
Romeo
off,
4.
kids.
Push approved, face east, beeline 4.
No, look how busy it is. Look, you know, so many different airlines. We've got Ryanair, Aer Lingus, Lufthansa, Alpaca Airways. These are all aircraft on VATSIM. I don't have any static aircraft displayed on any of my airports, so I always get rid of them if I can. Super busy here. Need to get out of here next as well. Thankfully, it's only a very short flight next. Guys, if you're... Oh, that's my tiller. Sorry, guys. If you are enjoying... Oh, my goodness me, the tiller on this thing. It's not the mod, it's my TCA joystick. I need to get it fixed. Guys, if you're enjoying the stream so far, including my ziggy-zaggy taxiing, don't forget to smash the thumbs up button as well. Great to have so many people here this Friday night. We're only halfway through the stream. We're on our first sector from Newcastle to Brussels. Get the aircraft parked on stand 206 right. So I'll have a quick 10-minute break though, just to get everything set up for the next sector. And then we'll fly on to Norwich, just a 45-minute flight. It'll be a nice night flight. Most likely 09, so it'll be an NDB approach, I think, onto 09 today.
Ryanair 7322 contacted tower 118.
Pop the AP logo light on as well.
118
and 206 right, looks right in the corner. Beautiful. Thanks again, Jordan, for an amazing livery. Get the APU starting up as well.
Bravo Strong, good evening. Lufthansa 11 Mike, gate 214, we can push and start.
Stand numbers. Yeah, 206 right coming up. Awesome.
Lufthansa 11 Mike, Brussels Bravo, very good evening. Check mode Squally, check mode Charlie, please.
You got to check mode Squally. It's like me.
Roger mode Charlie,
Lufthansa 11 turn the taxi and turn off lights, just pull on stand, verify that it says 737-800. Oh, look at that, APU available. And it does say Boeing 738. Sims are so incredible now. It's just every time I just complete a flight successfully, I'm like, wow. Very, very realistic.
Mike, mode Charlie, gate 214, for push and start. Lufthansa 11 Mike, correct, showing now. Push approved, face east on Romeo 4, please.
2 blues, 1 red, engines are dead. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Brussels. Oh, we even have an air bridge as well. Amazing. And we have an alpaca right next to us as well. Sweet. Shotgun this stand, by the way, when I reloaded. The sim don't make me change. Plenty of stands available. Amazing, amazing, amazing. We'll take the anti-collision light off as well. I need to wait until the N2's below 20%, but just for the immersion for the next sector, I'll turn it off a little bit early so I don't forget. Sweet, so there we are, first flight down. Boudalou says, ha ha ha. Fabi says, would you wait 3 minutes after reversals to shut down engines? Yes, 3 minutes after landing to shut the engines down. That's the time we need to wait. What is the name of the funky music song we play on landing, says Alex Aviator. For the replay, I can't remember. It's, again, royalty free. Genuinely can't remember what it's called. But if you go on the... Is it Benny's Sounds? I think it's on there or something. You can find it. Jason, are turnarounds stressful due to time constraints, or are they just another thing to run for a checklist of? There can be a bit of pressure. Sometimes we have quite quick turnarounds, especially if you're running late. But the thing is, no short no shortcuts are ever made. You can't just say, oh, I forgot to do the checklist because we're running late. We complete the checklist, and if that's the reason for the delay, so be it. No problem. All checklists and briefings are done every sector, regardless of the time it takes. There are other ways to save time. There's a little bit of... you might notice with scheduled block times or airlines, you'll see that the flight time is generally less. There's always a little bit of meat in the schedule to allow for small delays like that, but everything works smoothly. But there's so many variables which can delay flights, be it from the aircraft, crew, ATC, weather, you name it. It can always have a knock-on effect there. Francois said, what happens if you leave the weather radar on? I know the radiation is harmful, so are there any legal actions that can be taken against you? Great question, Francois. Yes, key thing is turn it off. I think short-term exposure isn't going to do anything, but I really don't know. I wouldn't want to be stood in front of it on, put it that way. But no, just turn it off, and then you won't have to worry about any legal implications of someone suing you if they got something nasty from that. Cool. Right then, I'm going to pop off the network there, and we'll be joining back in here on this stand, I hope, for the next sector to Norwich. There's Jack back in here as well, and we'll turn the music down on here. There we go, and cue the funky replay music. There we are. So far so good in the sim, working beautifully and buttery, we should say, shouldn't we? Let's put ourselves here on the approach. That's looking very nice. I'll just get rid of the fly live. There we are. Let's put ourselves on the threshold. Have a look at that landing. I did stretch it out a little bit. I'll be honest. Ah, yes, Mr. Mans. Yes, it is the name. We give Jack occasionally. Right, here we are, the thresholds. Good. Samurai, you're going to have a face reveal. Watch our last stream in FlyDeck Sim Gaming, and you'll see me in my long neck. Right, holding the aircraft off in the flare, a little bit long, just in the touchdown zone. Speed brake ground squad is straight up. It's a very flat runway here in the model. Let's have a look from here. So that's ideally where we'd like to touch down, around here. Get on low for this runway, not really a major factor, as long as the touchdown zone. So here comes the check. Closing the thrust and holding the altitude just around 4 or 5 feet high, but then you just let it settle down on the main gear, just hold it, and there she goes. It's another one we can tick off. Get the tower view, all the way over here. Bit far off, can't quite hear it. Looking good. And touchdown. Beautiful. Another successful flight. And then idle thrust as requested by the airfield briefing. You can use reverse thrust if you need it, but you just have to explain final report as to why you would use it. Anyway guys, that's part 1 and 2 out of the way. I'll put you in this little wing view so you can enjoy the landing and taxiing. I'll then throw you to the be right back screen. And just bear with me for 10 minutes whilst I get everything set up for the next sector, have a quick break myself as well, and we'll get the show back on the road at around just after 7:30 local time. But if you are enjoying the stream so far, don't forget to smash that button, thumbs up button, and subscribe to stay up to date, and I'll see you all in about 10 minutes. See you shortly guys, thanks. Thanks a lot for that, guys. Nice little intermission there. Spent most of the time getting all set up for the next sector, but we're back on VATSIM. Flight plans filed for our return, well, I say return sector. We're going back to Norwich now. I'm saying we're going back. We're going for the first ever time to Norwich. Let me start again. Second sector to Norwich. Flight time around 45 minutes, going only to 26,000 feet in a very busy Brussels airport now. Just looking back onto the network, and I couldn't believe the amount of traffic here now. I mean, we've got 4 on that side of the terminal here, 5 here. There's an A380 just popped up. Multiple aircraft here, so yeah, it's gonna be super busy. Sun's just set. It's gonna be a lovely dusk flight to get back to Norwich here. Thank you very much to Daryl Clevenger, I think that's pronounced, as a member. Welcome on board. Glad you joined the content, buddy. You get invited to our members only Discord. Enjoy using your custom emojis in chat as well. And thank you very much for the support. Good evening to you. Cool. So I'll turn the music off here. So I've not touched anything apart from putting the GPU on the bus and turning the APU off. It's exactly as I left it previous sector and this turnaround here. So again, we'd swap roles now. Jim would be pilot flying, I'd be pilot monitoring, doing the walk around. In reality, first thing I ever do when I pilot flying on the next sector is put the order brake to RTO, reset the fuel flow. Because it's a bit annoying if you forget to doing your fuel checks, and I put the flight directors on masters my side, and actually I try and grab the ATIS immediately and then the clearance as soon as I can, but obviously we need 2 pilots in real life to grab that. So we'll get the ATIS now, 132475. We'll see if it's working on voice. Not always the case on VATSIM, but no, that is active at the moment. I'll double click it and get it on text for myself, guys, so bear with me. So Brussels Information Delta, so I'll write that down here on my little notepad. 1750 Zulu, so it's about 40 minutes ago. Expect vectors, simultaneous independent ILS approaches, 25 right and 25 left. Runway 25 left and 25 right for arrival, and 25 right for departure. Okay, so we can expect 25 right for departure. Transition level 55, winds calm, cav okay, 12 degrees, QNH is now 1011. So we have the latest weather. QNH 1011 set, and we'll put the MF rate to 1200. We'll grab our clearance now, just to double check the SID. It should be a Helen 7 Charlie. That's the same SID for all the runways facing southwest, 25 left and 25 right. So anyway, 1200 feet set for the MF rate, and let's check the clearance frequency here in Brussels. Brussels delivery 121950. So 2195, and let's grab the clearance. Clearance delivery, very good evening, Alpaca to Whiskey India, stand 206 right with Delta 1011, departure clearance to Norwich, please.
Alpaca 2 Whiskey India, Brussels delivery, good evening. Just stand by 1 second for clearance here, number 2.
Roger. Perfect.
Iron Air 757, my apologies for the delay. So Suffolk 9 Charlie is the
Captain,
same as
Suffolk
oh yeah,
7 Charlie departure,
so
that's fine.
Suffolk 7 Charlie is alright for you.
Not happy with Nightbot there. YouTube is broken, I'm sorry to hear you have problems. Should be all working here.
7 Charlie departure selected. Sorry, which runway? 25 right or left?
It's the runway 25 right for you.
Ramtem, how do you reset the FMS on the ZIBO? Hold down the menu button.
Roger, runway 25 right.
And that doesn't work in the real aircraft, but
yeah. Have a good one.
In the mod, hold that down and reset it if you make a mistake. Or if it's bugged out or not doing something it should.
Your wings 221, Brussels delivery.
Oh, Ben Matthews! You've just watched
your number 2.
Standard College hoodie. Thank you so much. Now, something about what something says something. I can't read, it's too small. Ben Matthews, though, you absolute legend. Thank you.
Whiskey India.
Ready to copy.
You're cleared
50,
to
40,
Norwich
30.
Helen 7 Charlie departure. Runway 25 right. Initial flight level 60, squawk 7105.
Cleared to Norwich on the Helen 7 Charlie. Climb flight level 60, squawk 7105. Alpaca 2 Whiskey India. Sorry, Jonas.
2 Whiskey India, just confirm 25 right.
Sorry, Helen 7 Charlie for 25 right. Flight level 60, 7105. I guess that's correct.
Alpaca 2 Whiskey India, read back correct, startup is approved, and contact ground 1118.05, bye-bye.
Ground 118.05, I'm ready. Alpaca 2 Whiskey India, have a great evening, sir, bye. Perfect. So, Jonas, I'm so sorry. Just came at the exact wrong timing there, but I can do that now. Let's ping it. There we are.
50.
It's come
40,
up 3 times now.
30,
Thanks a lot, Jonas. Thanks
20,
for the 2 years.
10.
Hey there, Captain. Hope you're doing good, he says. Absolutely perfect, Jonas. Let's place. Thank you so much for the
Hey
donation.
there, Captain. Hope you're doing good. Carrot.
Carrot. I don't know why it played with €2. It's usually set to 3 or more, but I'll change the settings again. Everything's been reset in Streamlabs. Thanks, Carrot. Appreciate Jonas Let's Plays very well, and I hope you're doing well too. Thank you very much for your donation. Right, so flight level 80, we have our 60. We have our clearance. And squawk is 7105. So that's one thing I forgot to do. That should be on standby, and I forgot to set that to 2000. Taxiing on stand, so that's set as well. And we can now load up the FMS. We've already been cleared on the Helen 7 Charlie. So once we load up the routing, we've already got the clearance, so we don't need to double check that later. Right. Well, we do need to check it with the route clearance, but that's all good. Right. Let's go here to the flight plan. I should have already selected it. No, it's still number 1. There is number 2. So before we do anything, let's get to the. Excuse me. Great. Why far? Why not far? Yes, landing rate excellent. What was wrong with the approach, ZIBO? Outrageous. How is it Speed 250 knots below 6,000 feet? Are you having a giraffe, ZIBO? Oh, no. Brutal. It was not, was it? Maybe it was 250. Maybe it blew to 251. ZIBO's penalised me. Outrageous. Oh. If FPS good now? Yeah, it's much better. 30 FPS. I think it was just the sim loading in some scenery, probably some Ortho. Thanks, BX7 iOS. Brutal. Right, so this sector, we're going to simulate the same amount of passengers, 130 passengers, and our flight plan says we need 4.6 tons of fuel. So we'll take again an extra 1,200 kilo, 30 minutes, just for any delays on that sim for the probable go around, and that is going to be 4656 58. So we'll go 58 on the fuel.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Thanks again, Jonas. Let's play. That's very kind.
Good timing there. I guess next time I try to be more silent.
Jonas, let's play. No, you made me feel really guilty. I will never ignore anyone that's so kind to donate, ever. Sometimes it comes at the exact wrong timing, as you just said. When I'm getting my clearance or on ground. That's why, when I remember, when I'm taxiing around on the ground or on short final, I blank the alerts, just because that's the critical phase where if I miss something, it could mean something like a go around or something like that online. I know it's only simming, but it's just nice to do it that way. But you didn't need to do that, Jonas. Let's play. That's very kind. Thank you. Right, so fueling is done. Payload's going to be the same, guys. 130 passengers. We can open the door here. Hold on. I was wondering where the handle was. Why it was so low. It's up here. There we are. And we can terminate the flight leg, restart it. Sounds like we've got some boarding going on in the background as well. Now I can load the flight management computer. So here is the OFP. Fuel's on its way. And starting on the route page then, we are in Brussels, Echo Bravo Bravo Romeo. We're going to Norwich for the first time, Echo Golf Sierra Hotel. Our call sign for the second sector is Alpaca 2 Whiskey India, which is we'll be departing off runway 25 right, as advised by ATC, and it'll be a Helen 7 Charlie. Helen 7 Charlie. From Helen, it's going to be Lima 179 to Saski. From Saski, Lima 608 to Summum. And from Summum, Yankee 6 to Banham. Now, it didn't work on that previous second. Oh, it is now taking Yankee 6. There we are, Yankee 6 to Banham. Flight deck to floor, said 2 tons of love, brilliant. Alex the Aviator, like the video. Well, thank you very much. Jacob Luss, this is ZIBO's equivalent of asking you if you are a real pilot. Pretty much, yeah, ZIBO is obviously sus. Right, Pan direct to the NDB in Norwich, and then depending on the situation, if there's no ATC, we'll fly the procedural approach, or perhaps self-position onto the NDB or the ILS. We'll talk about self-positioning above the MSA later on. Essentially, you can do it even at night, but below the MSA, you can't self-position at night because you can't see the ground. But above the MSA, you can sort of manoeuvre the aircraft as you wish. There we are. So there is Norwich NDB. We'll go to the arrivals. There's no stars into this airport. It's very small, and I think it's still... The prevailing wind is usually from the southwest, but this evening it's coming from the east, I think. Yes, last METAR at Norwich. Oh, there's some rain showers around. Beautiful. 0805. So yeah, it's an NDB approach later on. Runway 09. Now, there are several procedural approaches available. I'm just going to go with Norwich 1 for now. Activate, execute. We'll have a look at them a little bit closer later with which one we need to select, but that looks good. It's outbound on the procedure, 10 miles back round into the approach, so for now, completely fine. Right, zero fuel weight's in, 54 tons. Our alternate is Stansted. We need 2.3. That's coming in now. Cost index, we'll use 30. We're going up to flight level 260 today. It's only suggesting 236. I should probably think that's to do with a restriction in the FMS or something like that. There's no point going any higher than that. We'll never get there. Monty, thank you so much, Monty, for joining as a member. Glad you enjoyed the content. Get invited to our members only Discord. Enjoy your custom emojis and chat as well. Thank you very much. Welcome to Team Green. Bonjalgles. Monty Bonjalgles. Thank you very much. Love the name Monty. Awesome. Yes, Monty, there's a gardener called Monty on the BBC, and I really like watching his shows. I'm like an old man. His name's Monty. Top of climb wind 258 at 60. Average wind, like before, is exactly, well, pretty much the same on such a short sector. There's not much point putting it in. Top of climb ISA -4, and oops, execute that. So 25 right here. I don't have time to upload the performance calculator, I'm afraid, today, because I have to take a screenshot, upload it. It's a bit of a pain, but just to show you the runway length here. 25 right, up here, it's a 3,600 metre runway, no problem at all. We'll plan for Bravo 3 and say we can depart from Bravo 3, and that's still going to be over 3,500 metres available. So let's go flap to, let's go, sorry, 22k, and I'm sure we can assume at 45 degrees. Never, this is just guessing, never ever do this in a real aircraft, obviously, but by the time I've got the OPT filed and uploaded, it would be an issue, but just because the stream's going on for 2 hours 40, we'll crack on. Trim's 5.75. It's not exactly the same as it was before because we've got the same load of passengers, pretty much the same amount of fuel as we had on the first sector. That is now set, and the V speeds are 34, 35, 39, 139 coming up here on the MCP. Perfect. So let's get the APU up and running again. So we were due off at 45, so that was the plan originally when I planned all this out. So only 2 minutes to go. We're doing really nicely for time. All an auto for the transfer switches. Don't need to check the crossfeed valve again, so I usually do it on the first sector. Fueling is almost done, so we'll leave the seatbelt sign on. That's all set. Cruising at 260 now. And Norwich, what is the elevation for Norwich? It is 117 feet, so we'll put that to 100. That's all set. On the MCP then, flight directors are on master. We've already got the clearance, so flight level 60, and we're going to be flying the Helen 7 Charlie. So climb is 700 feet, make a right turn 305 track, then intercept the Hull radio 314 to Helen. So we'll get Hull, the Holdenberg VOR active, 1755 as backup. 1755. 1755. We just need to check the runway QDM because remember it was slightly different for 25 right compared to 25 left. So 25 left where we landed was 249. It is now 244. So we need to update the heading book to 244 degrees. And that SID was the radial 314. So we'll put 314 active on my side as backup. Perfect. So that is all set, and he did clear us to flight level 60. Now that isn't mentioned on the SID, but because he gave us that, we've got it set on the MCP. So nice simple SID, 700 feet, right turn inbound to Helen. My sort of SID, that is. guidance here for minimum climb rates. Out there. Oh, it did say 60. My apologies. Initial climb clearance 60. Higher level by Brussels departure. Perfect. So that is all set. Now, what a good concern here. QNH is set, but correctly, it is 1011. Oh, it's actually 1012 now. But that's going to make it even worse. Usually, when there's a disparity between this is your elevation, when there's such a large difference like that, it's a little bit concerning. It should be within. Can obviously on the ramp vary from the elevation of the landing runway, but it shouldn't be that much different. That's almost 100 feet. So I'm just going to check active sky. It was Cav OK, isn't it? But active sky is on. The clouds are working. Temperature's 11 degrees. So, yeah, I'm not sure. We'll confirm the QNH when we get our push and start there. AP, come on the bus. We'll disconnect the GPU. And I think we're ready to go. We briefed the taxi. We briefed the SID. Brief departure, we've got a clearance. We obviously brief with the crew, with the first officer, so step for the emergency briefings, taxi, SID, I think we're all good to go. If I've forgotten anything major, let me know in chat. Fuel we have, doors are all closed. I like to forget those during stream. Frequencies are set. We actually don't need the ADF for departure, so we can put that to VO1 for the SID. Cool, I think we're good. Ground frequency 11805, just double check. Get better pushback connected, and we'll get on our way. So pushback's going to be something like this and this. So just before it gets connected.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you're ready.
It's the same guy. He must have been a stowaway.
Ground to cockpit, toes driving up.
I remember the dev who... I've got the expanded sound pack for better pushback, and a dev did message me to say sometimes it repeats on the second sector. Kuro says, LNAV, we are on that on the line up on the runway, operator.
Bravo 1 via Romeo 4,
Connor, how would you deal with the
QNH
situation?
1012.
Like the TUI 737 did, taking off 1 ton overweight because of the glitch. It wasn't a glitch, there was an error in the loading. They accidentally thought the female passengers were kids or something. I mean, what would I have done? Well, had I noticed the error, obviously rectify it, but the guys already got airborne. I think this happened obviously after they got airborne. But yeah, we have gross error checks at my operator prior to accepting the performance. We check the expected weight against the actual
external checks are complete. All doors and hatches are closed. We are ready to connect.
Perfect.
Currently standing at Bravo 6, requesting a taxi to the General Aviation Airport.
Lima India Mike, very good evening. Brussels ground taxi to the General Aviation Airport.
Ben Matthews, thank you very much for getting that hoodie. I didn't read the comments, so I'll have a look later.
Juliet and Romeo.
Alan Hughes, how does one get the extended sound pack for the better pushback, please? Alan Hughes, let me just quickly try and find the link for you, sir.
Please repeat the menu, Mike.
Via Inner 3, Juliet and Romeo.
Sorry I don't allow links and stuff in chat, but you imagine some of the things that happens online and stuff. Anyone can come in and put whatever they want, so I don't
Okay, the toe's connected, bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
There we go, I've got it for you, Alan. There you go. Perfect, so, request push to starts. Ground, good evening, Alpaca 2 Whiskey India on stand 206 right, request push and start.
Alpaca 2 Whiskey India, very good evening again. Check mode squad, please.
Sorry. 7105. Oh no, that's good. And that should be an out off. There we are. Perfect, and that picks up on his ground radar, but it was definitely the correct score, wasn't it? Yeah, 7105.
Alpaca 2 Whiskey India, push approved, face east on Sierra.
Push start approved, face east onto Sierra Alpaca 2 Whiskey India. He's quite right, and yeah, before we get our clearance, we move the code to out off, and then it pings up, so he's spot on, like, really good. Right, packs off, isolation valve open, AP beacon come on, AT collision light is on, parking brake is set, transponder verifying out off, chest complete.
Speedbird 44, thank you, see you next time,
bye. Caution, air conditioning and chocolate.
Starting pushback, you can start engines when ready.
Yay.
Even better, see you in 5 then.
Perfect. I will do, Doris, thanks. So it's going to be Sierra and my inner or outer up here on top of the taxi base. Looking good. No problem, Alan. Hope you're doing well as well. Danny, is it real time? Yes, live time, live weather. So it'll be dark by the time we get to Norwich. Looking good. Right, starting engine number 2.
Ryanair 4 Juliet Delta, please contact ground 121.875.
Sounds like max motoring. Don't forget to bring up the low DU, yeah, 26 max. It should be about 28. But anyway, fuel's coming in. Check the smart valve. A bit difficult signal. Pilot. And every answer by sounds you have for the ZIBO mod, the stock sounds by Audio Bird XP. Comes with the
on the outers QNH 1012.
Colin, on rotating in a situation like that, if the aircraft is struggling to get airborne, would you just put the nose down or increase flaps? My goodness, Colin, if you found yourself in a situation like that, you've really screwed up. I mean, what would I do? I mean, you're above V1, so you're committed to take
Operation
off,
complete. Set parking brake.
I just have to wait till I can get airborne, I guess, but that's some serious TM biscuits afterwards.
225, correction 225, could you check your Charlie?
Disconnecting tool, standby.
Head to.
Yeah, here it shows on again. Okay,
what's your sky colours? They're stock. They're in stock. Well, not everything, but everyone always asks, what's your clouds? What's your sky? But it's nothing. It's X-Mode 11. Don't have any shaders or plugins or anything that affects anything. I used to, but not anymore. Danny, the sky's beautiful. The little purple-blue colour at the horizon when you have a clear sky sunset is so nice. Absolutely, and it's exactly how it looks.
Portugal 341.
So look at the traffic on final. Look on 25 left. Look at that. Really nice. He has got his lights on though.
The tool is disconnected and the bypass pin has been removed. Hand signals on your right hand side. Take care up there. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, sir.
Ryanair 225. Somebody just stopped there in front of you, I guess.
Carnage.
Yep.
BX7OS, should the isolation valve be open? It is open.
Portugal 241, sorry, I'm having some problems on the pushback, but yeah, sorry for the disturbing. The facility manager won't be happy with that, I guess.
Pushback bypass pins there.
Ryanair 225, if you can make the turn to Sierra south side, then you can continue your taxi.
On anti-ice off packs. Auto isolation valve, auto is off and set. Flaps 25. Flight controls. Full back. Full forwards and left.
Your wings to
right.
221, contact tower 118.
Look at the tiller moving. Full right and full left. Recall. We can blank the lower DU and then we complete the before taxi checklist. Imagine that's done. Pop dome light off. Oh my god, Mariner, what are you doing? Unbelievable. Sneaky. That's Marianne, everyone. If you don't know, I think most of you do know her. Bumping in here, out of nowhere.
Maneuvers going on the terminal.
Right, request taxi.
Okay, hold position, Jersey 4 as well.
Now back to Whiskey India request taxi.
Back to Whiskey India, hold position, stand by. Jersey 4 Echo Alpha,
so,
taxi 2, stand 234 right via Sierra.
Taxi stand 234 right via Sierra, Jersey 4 Echo Alpha.
Lima Extra Alpha and Jamaica on the general aviation.
Long taxi in this airport? Yeah, some long taxiways around here.
Frequency, thanks a lot for it.
Sure.
Lima India, Mike, thank you for flying, see you next time, bye bye. Break, Alpaca 2, Whiskey India, taxi to holding point, Bravo 1 via Sierra, Outer 7, QNH 1012, and give way to our friends in the, he was approaching Sierra now and will park on 234 right.
Oh my god, how much do I remember there? Okay, so Bravo 1 as Sierra, Outer 7, QNH is 1012, and we're giving way to an aircraft parking on stand 234, Alpaca 2, Whiskey India. I think I got it all there. That was the information and a half. Right, QNH 1012. Yeah, it's quite a bit of a disparity between QNH maybe in the sim and his recording. That's concerning seeing a bit there. So there's an aircraft parking on stand. I think he said 234. And once he's out the way, we can taxi to Bravo Sierra via Bravo 1 to Outer 7. There's Outer 7. And Bravo 1 is all the way, look, there's the whole point there. So, yeah, we're cleared all the way. Just going to wait for the aircraft ahead to pull onto stand, turn off and taxi. I'm not sure what that stand was, so we'll just wait for him there. Chaz, I am landing in front of you now. I hope you don't land right in front of me. But, safe flight.
5 to push approved, face east on Romeo 4.
He's taxiing in. Perfect. Parking brake release. Config. No takeoff config warning. Let's go to Norwich.
Alpaca 2 Whiskey, yeah, the way should be clear for you now. You can continue your taxi.
Thanks. I wasn't sure where the stand was, so yeah, taxiing out of 7 to hold point Bravo 1. Alpaca 2 Whiskey, India. Thank you. Perfect.
Ryanair 225, contact tower 118.6. Bye bye. 886 for the tower 225. Thank you, sir.
To Harrison Ford. Oh dear, dear. Perfect. Fly being. Look at that, looks great. I know Microsoft Flight Simulator is newer and looks great, but this sim is just, if you want to fly airlines right now, again. Dreamless, can you explain the difference between a aspirated v non-aspirated tap probe? Yes, one uses bleed air to change the temperature. So a non-aspirated probe, you can see ridiculously high temperatures on the ground, whereas what is aspirated, you get accurate temperatures. I believe off the top of my head. But yeah, on the ground, we don't really reference that temperature, only referencing the temperature on the metal.
Tower 118.6, have a great flight.
Stunning, absolutely.
Holding at 118.6.
Onto the outer taxiway. This will be the second left. Jefferson charts aren't quite as clear as. I just want to make sure we're going the right way here. Yeah, so that's inner. Next left's outer 7 here. So I came in there a little bit too fast just because I wasn't too sure. So that's the inner taxiway. Outer 7 is going to be the next left. It's always quite a little bit harder on Jeppy charts to distinguish the taxiways. So you can see here it's like Mike is the first one, but just want to make sure that is definitely outer 7. No, in fact that was Mike first left here. I think this could be Mike inner. That's why that chart's useful. Yeah, that was Mike. You can see, look, it's impossible here to tell the taxiways, and quite difficult here as well because it goes from Mike. That was the first left. There's the inner, and then the next one's the outer. So, and that's not Navigraph's fault. So I pointed this out before in a chart here. So I said, "Oh, that's not very good Navigraph." It's something to do with Navigraph. There's Jefferson. Operator, we have NavBlue charts, which I have much clearer taxi charts. They have the lines going everywhere. Assetto Corsa taxi, a little bit fast. Alex the Aviator, how much do you spend on all your sceneries? Your environment looks 1,000 times better and each scenery seems payware. Now, I do make an effort most of the time, not all the time, but if there is a payware airport, you know, a lot of the donations I receive, I invest back into the sim. And I've done 86 giveaways on the channel now. I've done thousands on payware airports and aircraft as well. But that's, you know, I haven't had to pay for that, because a lot of that's come from you guys, so I always have a little bit to the side to get the stuff there, to make sure the visual experience for you guys is awesome. So Ortho 4XP, if it's there, I'll download it. If it's a payware airport, I'll get it. Or if it's a freeware airport, I'll install it, because I want this to be a good show, and I want it to look great. Sometimes it doesn't look always that good, the scenery, but if it's there, especially if it's a high quality one like Brussels, which I've had for ages. I bought this airport over a year ago, and this is the first time I've flown into it. There you go. But you can make it look really good without having to spend the world. So the Ortho 4XP, for example, completely free to download. And X-Plane 11 has an amazing amount of people that contribute stuff free. So sceneries of this aircraft is a fine example of it. But things like TDG, Is it Mr. 6X as well? Some of the airports available for free are as good quality as the pay-aware counterparts, but I always I have very fortunate to have a
switch to tower 118.6. Have a great flight. Bye bye.
Tower 118.6 Alpaca 2 Whiskey India. See you soon. Bye bye. I was so busy talking, I got a little bit disorientated. Yeah, there's Bravo. Bravo one's here. But yeah, I have a relationship with a number of scenery developers now and aircraft developers who very kindly also provide me stuff for free. So yeah, very lucky. What throttle do you use? I use the little throttle on the Airbus TCA joystick. For me personally, it's all I need because we fly jets most of the time, hand fly with the auto throttle.
197 requesting another go at the runway to your left, please.
Alright. 197, contact
Bravo 1. And we'll do the before takeoff checklist next.
118.250.
Mark Murphy, hello Captain, can you explain assumed temperatures when selecting takeoff thrust? Never understood it fully. Cool stream again, by the way, thank you very much. So, the CFMs on the 737 are what you call a flat rated engine, so they produce their full rated thrust up to ISA plus 15 degrees, 30 degrees. Above that temperature, the air gets less dense, so it's unable to produce less thrust. Now, what does that mean with regards to takeoff performance? Well, there's two ways of reducing your takeoff thrust for departure. You can reduce your D rate, which is the first thing you do, so 24, 22k. Another way is by selecting assumed temperature. And what assumed temperature thrust is essentially what you're doing, you're fooling the engines. You're saying to the engines, right, engines, I don't know what their names are, the outside air temperature is, I can find it, is 45 degrees Celsius, okay, and what it will do, it will give you the thrust based on the outside air temperature being 45 degrees Celsius, and it's another way of safely calculating or reducing your takeoff thrust. That's it in an absolute nutshell. There's more to it than that, and the takeoff thrust calculations is a combination of a D rate first and an assumed temperature, but you don't need to take a reduced D rate, you can do 24 and an assumed temperature if you so wish. Yes, Mariana? Did I speak to the engines? No, I didn't speak to the engines. Marianne, I wasn't speaking to the engines. Unbelievable. Engine names are Billy and Bob. Right, oh, I better check in. Too many questions, guys. But no, I love the questions, because if it makes me think, that's good, and it refreshes the topic. And if I'm not sure, I'll have to look it up, and it increases my knowledge, and that's what it's all about. Aviation. Alright, parking brake is set. Before I check in, I better do the takeoff. Alpaca 2 Whiskey India, A firm, holding at Bravo 1, will be ready in 1 minute.
Roger.
Sorry, I should have checked in sooner. Anyway, let's do the before takeoff checklist. So config, we checked. Flaps, we have 5 green lights. Stab trim set for departure. 5.75 units set. Takeoff briefing. Pax auto, bleeds on. The V speeds are set. 34, 35, 39. And the departure is going to be a Helen 7 Charlie. Straight ahead, 700 feet. Right turn inbound Helen. Stop level is flight level 60. NADP is 2, we're going to 1,000 feet, and checks complete.
Perfect.
Alpaca 2 Whiskey India, we're ready for departure, thank you.
Roger, call you back.
Perfect. I69 Turtle says, you remind me how much I've forgotten my ATPL feeling when you answer technical questions. Oh, trust me, I've forgotten so much as well. It's amazing the amount of content you have to absorb, but on a day-to-day life, sat here, you use about 10% of it. But no, it's good. It's good because I like to refresh these topics. There's Ryanair just taking off on It's been a lovely stream so far. Really enjoyed it, guys. You've enjoyed it too.
1593, hello, speed 167 knots, level 4. Continue approach number 2. 167.4, continue 1593.
Yeah, I'm not sure why there's such a difference here. Let me just check active sky.
Good land,
active sky saying the QNH is
1012.
1012. Variable at 3 knots, 1012. Not sure. Maybe it's the elevation data for the airport.
1185, 1185.
Emirates 463, Charlie 2, vacated, runway 25 left.
Canadian 159 feet, left land, runway 25 left, wind 020 at 6.
Oh, we got a late landing clearance.
Italia 757 behind, landing on Italia CRJ, land up away, runway 25 right behind.
Simultaneous approaches, look. Oh, bye! Yeah, definitely an elevation issue. He's just landed under the runway. Did you see that? I should think this is something to do with X-Plane and the scenery. You see how the aircraft went below the runway? Oh, there he goes. Or he landed so hard he went underground. Seeing he's in a CRJ, I bet he's playing Microsoft Flight Simulator. And I think the sim now corrects for the elevation differences as well.
1187 Italia 757 Brussels.
Tell Marianne to get seated for takeoff. She's in the kitchen at the moment. Elevation on 25 right is 184 feet. We'll jump. 25 right, line up and wait. I'm back at 2 Whiskey India. Someone else hasn't responded. We'll take the gap. Right. Confirm read back with Jim. A firm, clear the line up and wait. So lights on, strobes, auto throttle, L nav. Transponder TR8.
1805, bye-bye.
So MCP is set. Transponder set to TAR8. Strobe lights are on, and we're just waiting for our takeoff clearance as we line up on 25 right. There's Lufthansa waiting. Maybe he was the one ahead of me, I'm not sure.
Goedenavond, Milan 895, ILS 25 left. Line 895 will continue, speed 160 knots until for number 2.
160
for Milan 895. Alpaca 2 Whiskey India, wind 020 at 6, and 25 right, clear for takeoff.
25 right, clear takeoff, Alpaca 2 Whiskey India. Right, clear for takeoff, all ready to go. Tokens in chats, let's go to Norwich. 40%. Engines all stabilised, EG's good, set takeoff thrust. Light forward pressure on the control column. Takeoff thrust set, indications all.
80 knots.
Check, it's release forward pressure.
Line 895, wind 020 at 6, wind 25 left, clear to land. Line 895.
V1, rotate.
There we go. 2.5 degrees per second. And red. Gears coming up. And trim.
Get on there, 750, 595. Roger, line up that way, 259, get on the 750. No delay. Alpaca 2 Whiskey India, contact departure, 118 correction, 126, 625, yeah.
126.625, Alpaca 2 Whiskey India, bye. Bug up. It's going to be a different frequency, so 126.
Canadian 159, please, Cornwall Charlie,
625. I love this radio tuning panel, it's so good.
118.
VT plus 15, select flap 1. So again, the ZIBO mod should be commanding a right turn at 700 feet. Instead it's gone through 2000 as sort of like a waypoint in a fixed position. I'm pretty sure anyway, it's just 700 feet right turn. Flaps up. Let's sit again. Yes, I think it's 700 feet. Yeah, 700 feet right turn, so it hasn't done that exactly. Right. Climbing to a flight level, so set standard, VNAV, and just get on to the flight directors. Whoops, and trim commands. And we'll check in with departures. Speed 2,000 feet now. Check in and do the have to take on checklist. Brussels radar, hello, Alpaca 2 Whiskey India, Helen 7 Charlie, passing 40, flight level 60.
Alpaca 2 Whiskey India, hello, Brussels departure, radar contact 4, about to climb flight level 70.
Climb flight level 70, Alpaca 2 Whiskey India. So 7.
Alpaca 2 Whiskey India, contact Brussels control 131.1, bye-bye.
131.1, Alpaca 2 Whiskey India, bye. 131.1, super busy. Two frequencies. Right, so 70 set. I need to push out to defend. No, I don't. 250, 2 to go. That's all good. Looking good.
25 left.
Ah, it's this guy with the 1950s
Speed
radio.
49 Foxtrot, expect 25 left.
Have to take off checklist then. Gears off, brake off. Start switches off. Air conditioning and pressurization 2.0. And that is all looking good. And that's set. Needs the cabin crew. And that's it. Have to take off checklist. Bit of a wobbly over that waypoint there. Should be doing that. Just going to give it direct to Helen again. ZIBO, help. Sometimes it says a little bit of wobbly over conditional waypoints. So just got Helen again. There we are. 1,000 feet per minute. To go. Brussels, hello. Alpaca 2 Whiskey India on a Helen 7 Charlie, climbing flight level 70.
Alpaca 2 Whiskey India, hello, radar contact, climb flight level 180, direct to Gigit.
Flight level 180, direct to Gigit, Alpaca 2 Whiskey India. 180 checked, and direct to Kegit. Executes, LNAV's available, LNAV's engaged, and VNAV. There we are. Have to take off checklist, it is complete as well.
Easy 69er Papa Foxtrot, direct to
beautiful, look at that. Sensor set.
And Manta 4 Papa Kilo, speed 250 knots.
So, no delay, we should be touching down in 35 minutes. Really a short sector here. Flight level 260 for the cruise, sorry. Flight level 260.
Transavia 5033, descent flight level 200, level by Helen.
200 by Helen, Transavia 50.
So one of the things we do at Marbrator as well, when we've been cleared above 150, don't do us enough in the streams, go to M1 limit, we actually delete the climb speed to go to full climb thrust. That just helps us get to our cruise level a bit quicker, saves a bit of fuel.
100, 180.
Go ahead.
Pre-cruise checks, fuel 4 pumps, 5 tons. Logos off, APU's off, pressurization 3.8 and set. Many passengers seated, recall. Monitoring 21.5 and we log into CPR.
45 Alpha, left heading 100.
Cool. You can see it's all backed up, the VR, look, that radialized set, well, not quite, because remember I had a little bit of an issue at that waypoint, but yeah, we could get to Kegit if we could via basic RNAV navigation.
Left heading 110.
So as soon as you get up to 260, we'll start setting up for the approach into Norwich. I don't know what the ATC situation is.
1140, speed 300 knots.
Speed 300 knots, Air France 140.
Transavia 5033.
Should wing lights be on? Nope, no need down on use. We only use it when expecting winds for ice or on the ground for walk arounds at night if you're expecting the leading edge. Beautiful. So, loading up this little bit of the scenery, but no, it does look good. True Earth looks really good at night as well. I'm really impressed with how that looks when we get to the UK.
Easy 69 Papa Foxtrot, confirm speed 250. 250, Easy 69 Papa Fox. Easy 69er Papa Fox, increase speed 280 knots. 280, increasing 69er Papa Fox. Air France 1140, contact Amsterdam 125.750.
When do you go to standards? As soon as you're above the, well, I'm operating, as soon as you're above 3,000 feet AGL, as soon as you've cleared to a flight level, we immediately set standards, regardless of the position of the transition altitude. So approaching 2 to go, start slowing that vertical speed down, we just need to get up to 260 for our cruise.
258, hello, radar contact.
Excellent.
Jersey Fort, Victor Charlie, leaving control airspace, frequency change is approved.
Understood, so there we go. Perfect. Do the strobes only come on at 10,000 feet? No air trooper, have I forgotten them? Nope, that's fine. Strobes on from when you enter the runway, and then off when you vacate the runway after landing, on at all stages. At above 10,000 feet, just turn off the forward-facing lights, so the fixed line lights turn off the taxi lights, the logo as well, we just leave the strobes and anti-collision lights on above 10,000 feet.
Transavia 5033, contact Amsterdam 125.750, bye.
125.750, Transavia 5033, bye.
Manta 4 Papa Kilo, descent flight level
There's
190.
no VAT on ATC in Norwich, is there? I'm trying to find on the VATSIM map, but my app one isn't working.
Speedbird 45 Alpha, report heading to Brussels 129.575.
Great, you don't use the strobes, no, you do use the
129.575, thank you very much.
Just to make sure you're happy, Cat. Above,
Atlanta
go
376.
through the lights, so all these lights here on the left hand side, above 10,000 feet, off. Logo light off, strobes on, anti-collision light on. In flight, the only light where we're going to flick is off is the logo light at 10,000 feet, and the wing light, if you want to inspect the leading edge of your ice. Wheel well off, obviously. Back at 2 Whiskey, India, request further climb, please.
0.
Locked.
Alpaca 2 Whiskey India, climb flight level 260.
Climb flight level 260, back at 2 Whiskey India. What's the chances of me asking for further climb and he gives me my further climb when I ask? Right, 260 set, final cruise level. Set here on the overhead panel once, twice, FMS 3 times. Oh, looking good. No problem, Americans. Scotty 2, if your company eventually buys MAX 737s, how long would it take you to convert? We're getting MAXes, and I've completed the conversion. it's a simulator session, and a kind of day course, a lot more than what was required previously. Anytime, Air Trooper. Thanks for asking your question. Stefan says, I've only experienced BAZ and Thomas Cook, so maybe just been on airlines at like a gentle storm. Turnip says, where's my flying to Norwich. If you ever want to know the basic flight information, you'll find it up here on the top. So you've got your ground speed, heading, altitude, departure and arrival airports, ETA based on my current speed and as the crew flies. You'll see that changing constantly. Especially on approach.
Descent flight level 140.
Descent 140, Easy 600 Papa Fox. Can you just confirm the heading again for 600 Papa Fox?
Look at that, there's top of the descent already.
090, descending 140.
Oh, very quiet in Norwich this evening. A lot of people joined on the first sector. But yeah, it looks like a whole eastern UK there's not even any traffic. We'll fly probably a procedural bridge today.
Wizgo 4452 heading 325.
Wizgo 4452, hello, radar contact. Maintain.
Okay, are you type rated for the Airbus A320neo as well? Absolutely not. The only type rating I have is the 737.
320, and what was the waypoint?
Parents, sorry Captain, it's
50.
oh, sorry,
30,
Stephen. I always mispronounce
20,
that. Sorry, buddy.
10.
Thanks, Stephen. Parents, okay. Norski, thank you very much for £10.
Well, it's finally back to work on Monday. Just a little something to say thanks to you, Mariana, and the awesome Discord community for being the perfect lockdown support bubble.
Thanks, Norski.
From Assetto Casa to late night Valorant sessions, it's been a lot of fun.
Thank you very much, Norski, for the £10 donation. That's very kind, and I'm glad you've had such an amazing time here. And, well, I'm also glad you've got a bit of normality going in your life and going back to work. I don't know how good that is for you. I guess you're personally a bit happy to get out and about and stuff. But no, we've loved it. Norski sent a lovely message. Mariana says he loved Norski. So there you go. But no, thank you very much, guys. And as you all know, with the members, as the members here, I try my best to interact with you as well. Mariana spends much more time playing games with you guys, and I must apologise for not going on there. I tried Valorant, as you well know, yesterday. I just mouse and keyboard don't get on with it, but it's been fun. And I hope you stay around for as long as you ever want to, Norski. You're always welcome. Thanks a lot for the contributions as a member as well. Tony says, living near Norwich Airport in real life, I can't say it's very quiet. Yeah, there's a lot of the helicopters go to the North Sea, don't they? In and out of Norwich all the time. Wind 32 Dev, no holding today, just like you had to do in the Isle of Man. I know, that was super busy, that one. That was the last time we flew to Mod. Modern Nerd, when is the next members group flight, please? Modern Nerd, are you in the Discord? That is, you're a recently new member. I won't be saying, because I keep that as kind of like the members only monthly group flight is kind of like a members only thing. It is next weekend. I won't say the date or time, but no, if you're a member here and you'd like to get into our members only Discord, you know, always feel free to message me if you're struggling, but it's like an automatic synchronization process. Go to Google, type in YouTube Discord synchronization, follow the steps there, and that'll get you invited. Modern Nerd, you are indeed. Well, if you look in the Group Flights channel, Group Flight channel, we've been discussing it, but generally every 4 or 5 weeks, just to get, we always do one per month, but yeah, next weekend.
Flight level 370, easy 5
Right, well, 40 miles to top of descent, ladies and gentlemen. We're not going to mess around. We've got to start setting up for the approach. So, there's no arrival into Norwich. I can't remember the code now. Yes. So, no arrival. So, straight on to the approaches. NDB, runway 07. There we are. So, we're sort of coming in from this direction. We're going to go straight outbound for the procedure. For the Cat D, and then we'll fly it round onto the NDB or use the FMS just like we would do in real life. So, we'll start setting up the approach now.
Easy 69 Papa Foxtrot, descent flight level 80, speed 250 knots.
So we'll be able to see if we've got any temperature or QNH errors in the sim, because this will demonstrate any QNH issues. You know, the QNH on the ground there didn't look quite right. It's very important that when you fly an approach like this, you have the correct QNH set. So if there's a problem with the sim, we'll notice it for sure with the QNH. Be a good way. No, there's no point in putting 310 because we're not up there. 200.
Hotel Delta Romeo, hello, radar contact,
that
descent flight level 60, expect ILS 29er.
Flight level 60 and expect the ILS 29er.
Transavia 55 Foxtrot,
Okay, that's 200, 256, 55. 100, 259 and 26. Perfect. Just going to get the QNH for Norwich. It is 1013.
609, goedenavond, squawk 1000.
Squawk 1000.
That's executed, and we can set the QNH 1013 here. Excellent.
Easy 69 Papa Foxtrot, contact Brussels arrival
109, so that's looking good. So just quickly check this. What's that outbound track? I think it was 284.
Ryanair 1609, radar contact, descent flight level 230.
Yeah, I think we've got the correct approach to 284 was the outbound procedure. So we'll talk about this in detail in a second, guys. We'll just get it all set up.
7211, climb flight level 330.
Runway 09, fixed rings, 10, 4.
Average cargo 7211, direct to Matuk.
Good, Matuk, average cargo 72.
Looking good. Forces, courses, minimums next then. So, frequency for the NDB 3425.
Hotel Delta Romeo, contact Brussels, departure on 126.625, good day.
126.625.
You can't see 0.5 increment, but 342 should be fine.
Manta 4 Papa Kilo, descent flight level 80.
And what's that ADF again?
Flight level 80,
final approach course 086.
Yeah, leaving controlled airspace, frequency change approved, bye-bye.
Tough for me. Might be for me because I don't remember the ATC. Ah, yeah, it was. Who's digging me? We'll go to Unicom 1228, thanks. Alpaca 2 Whiskey India, bye. Perfect. No further ATC.
Transavia 55 Foxtrot, climb flight level 350.
There we are. So over on Unicom now. So frequency courses 086, so it's offset. 086, and the runway QDM is 089, yes, it's a 3-degree offset. So it's 086, 086, NDB is tuned, so we do have DME available. With DME, and you have DA MDA or without DME MDA, so we do have DME, we can set this minimums here, so the final approach picks will be at 5.7 at 2,000 feet, and the min is 560. So this is an MDA, referencing here this 560 for an NDB approach. DA will be associated with precision approach. Again, Jefferson charts a little bit different with how they display the information of my operator. It just simply says 560 MDA, there's no confusion with the DA. So as it's an MDA, minimum descent altitude, we have to add 40 feet increment to this to make sure we don't go below this height. So it'll be 600 feet we set on the minimums. Are you performing NDB approaches, Captain France? Yes, we are. There's no precision approach onto runway 09 in Norwich. So there we are, 600 feet is set. MSA, there's no real terrain issues, 2,300 feet. So, for this approach, we'll be coming in from the southeast. We're going to be going on a track of 339 inbound. So technically speaking, because it's such a steep angle here, you've got to be within 30 degrees of the final approach track to go directly outbound procedurally. Now, because of our track here coming in this steep, we should technically go into the hold round and then outbound. As at this point we'll be well above the MSA, you know, it's sort of, you need to confirm with ATC, but a lot of airports we fly to in the network, it can be a bit confusing because, yeah, we've got this requirement to be within 30 degrees of your final approach track, but ATC will expect you to go straight outbound. So long as you're above the MSA, which in that sector is 1,700 feet, we're going to be about 5,000 or 6,000 feet at this point. It is acceptable to sort of, you know, go straight outbound, but if it was your instrument rating exam, you'd want to be going in the hold straight outbound. But well, imagine we've got permission to self-position and then go straight outbound for the track. That will save us having to go into the hold. And again, at night time, it's very important. Self-positioning, you have to be above the MSA. Again, that's my operator's SOPs, because you can't see. So if I'm entering this approach here and I'm at 2,000, well, let's say I'm at 1,500 feet, I can't go straight outbound. You know, I'm self-positioning then below the MSA. I actually need to enter the hold, but at that point I'd be below the minimum holding altitude anyway. So I hope that sort of makes sense. But yeah, we'll go straight outbound, 284 until 10 miles. So let's have a look at the FMS, make sure it's coded correctly. We can descend now as well. So imagine ATC told us to go straight down to flight level 90. So VNAV will manage that for us as long as I am in VNAV. So plan. So there you are. You can see we're going to go straight towards the NDB, and then it'll be a left turn 284 till 10 DME. So that's all looking good. DME is going to be based off 110.9, so we need to tune that frequency up. So if you get any ILS or ILS or localizer information off this frequency, you cannot use it. Remember, we're only using this for DME, so don't get confused by any glide slope scales or anything like that. If it happens to be an ILS frequency, I think that's just the DME based, or the ILS based off the other runway. Not sure though. There we are. VNAV's managing descent. So yeah, outbound 284 until 8.8 miles. Sorry, not 10. So why is it coded as 10? Interesting. Keep a close eye on that. It is 8.8. I think it is 8.8 because if you look here on the FMS, that's my 10-mile ring, and you can see, look, the point at which it turns is before that, so it's definitely not 10 miles. I've actually lost it now. But I'm confident that is the 8.8 mile point, but it should say 8.8. We can go down to 2,000 feet at that point. I really don't want to be doing more than 240 knots for this procedure. There might be a maximum speed for the procedural approach here. Sometimes, I think Leeds, for example. There you go, the procedural restricted to max 210 knots. So we need to make sure we're doing less than 210 knots passing the NDB. So we can tell VNAV, please get me to be 210 knots in November Whiskey India. There we are, left turn then. We'll intercept the final approach track of 086. That's a 3-degree offset. There you go, final approach track is offset 3 degrees from runway centreline. The final approach fix is at 5.7 DME, so that is Foxtrot November 09. You can see the offset with the white dashed line, that is correct. So 2 miles before that, we'll set our minimums. 600 feet, verifying we have VNAV path, speed window open, and then we'll descend on the final approach fix. So, for the landing, the runway here quite short, runway 09, 1,800 metres, so beyond the threshold doesn't have the same distance, there's no display threshold. So yeah, I'm going to land here. You're going to use the full length of the runway to get off at Alpha 2 and then taxi on stand. It's just the default airport here, and I'm going to use flat 40, quite short for the runway here. Now again, I'm not going to demonstrate the landing performance, we've seen it plenty of times. Absolutely every sector we do it, because we're already in the descent here being such a short flight. Track required, keep a close eye on that. As it's already flat 40, it was 200 kilos, sorry, so 58. No, it's 300 kilos we're going to burn. So landing weight's going to be 57.9. Flap 40, short runway, and we'll order brake to 3, and we'll vacate at the end. We'll use idle reverse again because it is the last flight of the day. The aircraft's going to be shut down afterwards. And then vacate Alpha 2, Alpha on stand. That's it, not much guidance here. Very small airport, doesn't frequently take traffic like a 7-3, but it is able to. Cool, so I hope you found that interesting. NDB approach then, we utilise the FMS, use LNAV and VNAV, regardless of the non-precision approach. This is exactly how I'd be setting it in real life. Sorry guys as well, chat there, I wasn't really paying much attention for 2 or 3 minutes because I was cracking on with the approach, seeing where we descent in, but there we are. Tom says, could you drop a file for your Boeing 738X Pilot Alpaca Airways CSL? I think Kurosh has got you sorted. Yeah, there's the link for the CSLs for the Alpaca Airways, so it contains pretty much the entire fleet there to appear on Ransom correctly, and that's all thanks to Jamlin, one of the members. James Johnson said, Captain, you should do a flight to Moscow, Russia. I think that'd be cool. We do need to go back to Russia at some point. Moscow. We took our first ever flight to Moscow. It was in the Tupolev, the Felis Tupolev. Very adventurous. And that also needs to be flown again soon. It's been a while. Excellent. Angry, if a QNH doesn't work that good or that well, always go Pappy's visual. Yeah, true. And actually, we've discussed it before. When you're flying a non-precision approach using VNAV, it's it's a barrow guided system. So basically, if you put the wrong QNH in, it doesn't know. It's just referencing whatever the height is at each waypoint, and if you've got the wrong QNH set, it'll put you at the wrong height, and there's no way of telling from the flight deck if you've got the correct QNH set or not, because the altitude distance cross-check, so at 4 miles, 5 miles, when you check your height against the chart, it's exactly the same, because all you've changed is the reference altitude point. One way you can tell is actually bring up the VSD. So if I select the VSD here, and if the runway appears above or below the terrain indication with terrain selected, it's a high chance you've got the incorrect QNH set. So it's very important when you fly non-precision approaches you confirm that you have the correct QNH set for the approach. So obviously on VATSIM it's a fixed system. We've been told the QNH is 1013. I'm going to check the QNH now in Norwich. It is 1013 on the METAR. We have it preset, so it should be fine. Similarly, what do you think about the MAX now they've been taken out of service again today? Have they? That's news to me if they have. And, I'm not going to tell you publicly what I feel of the MAX, but yeah, they've worked hard, and the authorities now are happy to release the aircraft and fly again. So yeah, let's see. Tom, does anyone know a VATSIM map to show the current ATC online? I have an app called VAT Traffic, which I find quite useful. But no one online today. Oh my. I'll have to look at that because it was news to me. The MAX. Cat, do you remember the crash of Turkish Airlines 737-800 in Schiphol? I do. That was caused by pilot error. They didn't realise I think there was a fault with the autothrottle, and it went to retard arm too early, and they didn't spot it. And the aircraft stalled, I think. It's been a long time since I've made reference to that incident. Right, cycling belts. There's Norwich ahead. There's True Earth looking absolutely resplendent. And if we get a little bit closer towards Norwich, no ATC, I'll pop off offline, just because it's a procedural approach there. Joe, crikey, descending already. I know, 25 minutes airborne, approaching 10,000 feet, but those flights happen. Hope you're doing well as well, buddy. Gwen Jones, was that a crash? That was years ago. Oh yeah, that's not recent. That's not recent. Danny, I'm from Europe, but I think South American regions would be cool, like Pocket Air, Sao Paulo and Chile would be really nice to cool and to fly. Yes, and the beauty of Microsoft Flight Simulator now as well, if I do choose to fly in these other regions, I don't need to worry so much about the scenery with Ortho. So yeah, the CRJ is not a bad aircraft. I don't mind fly that again soon. That was it, yeah, radio altimeter fail. Yeah, so if we're flying an autolander, we have a failure of radio altimeter, we have to fly missed approach. If actually, you know, if we're doing an autoland in anger sort of thing in the conditions, but obviously if it's a practice one with visual, we can disconnect and continue. There we are. VNav and the mod are doing a splendid job here this evening. So shall I say it? Yes, I shall say it. I would recommend, if you a ZIBO mod flyer, because there's so many versions here, it is safe, and I presume ZIBO will release this after the stream, or it may be public already. 346.17, which I've been running since the start here, is running beautifully. Sorry, 347.17. It's been very nice. I had a few bugs recently with VNav, but look at it now. It's decelerated to 240 knots, spot on. So yes, I'll put my hand up and say, guys, go grab 346.17, and then back it up. So if there are any updates which cause issues, I always have a backup version. But after this stream here, I'll be getting rid of my backup version, which was 346.12, which is my last very stable one. But this one looks rock solid. It's already out. Perfect. Excellent.
1,000 to go.
Checked. So there's no ATC again, so I'm going to step down to flight level 60. We have a new decel point for our 210 knots. We'll do the post-cruise checks now. Lights, logo, and put the taxi lights on. We wait for landing clearance, but there's no ATC. AP's off, pressurization is set. Recall checks complete. Perfect. Yeah, Norwich doesn't get much love, unfortunately, on VATSIM, I don't think. Oh, thanks, Anthony. There's only 60 upgrades affected the max, no electrical issues with the planes. There you go. And there is Norwich straight ahead. So all the Norwich lovers, sorry it's night time. We've been full live all the time, but yeah, maybe we should depart Norwich in the ZIBO mod next stream. 737 Simmer, hi Captain, just finished my flight, love your streams, new content, keep up the great work, thank you very much buddy. Excellent. So I've just popped offline now, there's no ATC, so all I'm asking for is trouble. What does Q&A stand for? Well, it doesn't really stand... Well, I actually don't know what it stands for exactly, the words, but it's just a reference from the height above sea level. That's all we need to worry about. Similarly, Bob, on a scale of 1 to 10, how realistic is the ZIBO for you? 8.5 out of 10 or 9. It's close. There's always going to be limitations in a desktop sim, but it's my preferred desktop simulator. So, where's that little decel point gone? We've lost it. I just want to kind of do a bit of a test here. I'm going to leave it in VNav, see if it complies with this 210 knot restriction. We'll imagine that if the tower online they had no radar available, we'll imagine they've gone, oh okay, Alpaca 2 Whiskey India, proceed direct to the Norwich NDB, cleared procedural approach, report outbound for the procedure. We'll go down to 2,000 feet, okay, which is the platform altitude. So 2,000 feet is set QNH 1013, 6,600 for 2,000 feet, and the standby altimeter is set, and we have the NDB identified, November Whiskey India, pointing there as well. Now, even though the aircraft isn't physically following the NDB, it's using the FMS database. Oh my god, I just realised something. Oh no, it's fine, because there was only NDB approaches available. Make sure you select, if there's multiple approaches, you select the correct approach. So the aircraft, even though I have the NDB tuned, isn't physically following it. It's following the FMC database, which has the NDB programmed. However, even though the NDB is not being used, you have to have it tuned and identified, and if it was inoperative, you cannot fly this approach, even though the aircraft is perfectly capable of flying it in the FMS, but you have to have the NDB tuned and identified to fly it. I know that seems strange, but it's a backup. So if the FMS wasn't working, we could still fly this, just the same way as when I fly the 737-200 or the 727, I'm using the tail needle, the DME distance as well. It's exactly the same, except in this case the FMS is utilising it. And look at that, ZIBO working perfectly. 210 knots, overhead the beacon, VNav is absolutely spot on. Stupendous. Right, 210, and now we're going outbound. And remember what I said earlier, to go straight outbound like this, well, technically it's beyond 30 degrees, should enter the hold, then straight outbound. But we're above the MSA, the MSA is 1,700 feet in this sector. As long as you're above the MSA, you know, this is sort of a bit of a self-position outbound, but we're fine. Right, so outbound we go. So we'll call up Norwich Tower. Okay, Alpaca 2 Whiskey India overhead, November Whiskey India outbound for the NDB approach runway 09. Perfect. FR Dan, if it was CAVOK conditions, would you still need a service with NDB? Absolutely. To fly the approach, regardless of the weather, you need to have the NDB tuned and identified, even though the FMS doesn't need it, or we don't need it. But yeah, that's all part of the legal requirements to fly. So if it's an RNAV approach in the 737, an NDB approach, a VOR approach, as far as we're concerned as operating pilots, the FMS is going to fly it the same way in LNAV and VNAV. However, depending on what the approach is, if it's VR and NDB, we have to be tuned and identified. For RNAV approaches, we have to monitor the RNAV performance, so we have to make sure the cross-track error was within half of the RNP. At the final approach fix, the altimeters, cross-checking, all working correctly. There's vertical deviation requirements as well for RNAV approaches, so you've got to understand what the approaches are and how the aircraft's managing it and what we need to monitor as well. But the mod here, absolutely perfect so far. Beautiful. So it's holding the speed nicely. We'll shortly select flap 1 just before we turn final. Very calm and surreal this evening, very nice. What does CAVOK stand for? Stands for, you know, clear skies, visibility is okay, so visibility is in excess of 10 kilometres and their cloud base is above 5,000 feet and no CBs either or thunderstorms. Right, select flap 1, we'll open up the speed window, and with the VNAV logic selecting flaps and opening the speed window, it stays in VNAV path, otherwise it would have gone to VNAV speed. But the logic is you know, it knows it's on approach, so it stays in VNAV path. Hi Brad, hope you're doing well. Good morning to you from Australia. So that blinking light is telling me, right, VNAV, I can't manage that speed, so give me some drag. So that auto throttle blinking light means, you know, it's not approaching its target speed, so we'll go to flap 5. Match the speeds. And we're now turning. You can see how accurate it is. Onto the final approach course of 086. You can follow the head of the NDB. And you would have done the approach checklist as well. Got the NDB tuned. Where's the DME gone? Ah, okay, interesting. Just realised something. We don't have the DME. 110.9.
1,000 to go.
Helps if I select it. Right, 110.9. So remember, do not follow the localizer inclined slope information. It is incorrect. This is based, I think, off the ILS, off the runway 27. So the localizer is going to show incorrect indications. It'll be opposite to the sense, so it will show you here at the moment I need to fly left when it would be fly right. So do not use it. I'm only interested in this information here. So it looks like the ZIBO mod has planned a little bit of a level segment here. That's actually what VNAV would do on the approach, in approach mode. It would level off until recapturing the profile. Usually it plans a bit more of a continuous descent though. Anyway, we're getting established on final. Next thing is 2 miles before the final approach fix. We need to make sure we have the MDA set on the MCP. So you can see that offset, there's the runway. It's going to recapture the profile.
1,000 to go.
And now it should start descending. There we go. So again, yeah, the localized indications, if you're watching this stream in the future, it's based off the other runway. Do not follow the guidance here. And that is very important to understand that. So this DME is all we're interested in here is this DME information. So approaching 2 miles to final approach fix, we can set the MDA 600 feet. We also verify we have VNAV path selected and the speed window is open. What's the missed approach? Climb straight at 1600 feet, left turn back to the beacon 2000 feet. So very low stop altitude here. And then we have some altitude distance cross checks beyond 5 miles to check the heights. 5, 4, 3, 2. We need to check, make sure our heights are good. Looking ahead though, 2 reds, 2 whites. Looks like VNAV is spot on. As soon as we've passed the final approach fix, we'll start configuring just a little bit early. Again, ignore this information. It's showing fly right, and it's continuing towards us. It should be fly left, but that's because it's based off the localizer on the other runway. So that's the final approach fix. Very important height here. Check your height at the FAF 0, 2,000 feet, and we verify how many altitude flags or errors. It's all looking good here. We'll start configuring to land. Get it down flat 15. Match the speed, landing checklist, start switch is continuous, recall checked, speed brake, arm green lights, landing gear, down 3 green, auto brake is set to 3, flap 25 initially, nice intermediate flap setting for flap 40 because the maximum speed is 162 knots for flap 40, looking good, select flap 40, match the speed, and we'll do a height check. So 4 miles, we need to be at 1,450 feet, 4 miles coming up, let's do a height check. ZIBO MOD says, our survey says, 1,450 feet on profile. Landing checklist, flaps 40, 40 green light, lights are on, checks complete. Looking at the profile, looking nice. Top of the white bar, 1,000 feet above aerodrome. We need to set the missed approach altitude, and on approach logic, it won't level off. 2,000 feet set. Next height check is at 3 miles. 3 miles means to be at 1,130 feet. Our survey says. 120, 10 feet. We'll let ZIBO off there. Happy guys, absolutely flawless by the ZIBO mod. It has flown the NDB approach exactly how it would be done in real life. The VNAV is perfect. So impressed. Right, anyway, we'll disconnect autopilot and disconnect the auto throttle. We'll need to recycle the flight directors because it's offset. The guidance isn't going to help us. Oops, I accidentally pushed toga. To recycle the flight directors, doesn't matter. There we are. So the thrust didn't come up because the auto throttle was disconnected. And that was my buttons on my joystick. Right, so we can now fix onto the centre line. Checked, approaching minimums.
Minimums.
Continue. It's just me being a perfectionist getting the speed all corrected. Right, on the centre line, no wind. Speed's good.
400.
Keep it descending now.
300.
Looking beautiful. Very small corrections, just a little bit high. Just increase that rate of descent, but don't go too crazy. No more than 1,000 feet needed. There we are. Back on profile. Keep it descending.
100.
Keep it going.
50. 40. 30. 20.
Check.
10.
Close. And hold the attitude.
You need to be parked on the ramp for service.
Yes. Speed brakes up, reverses. You beauty. There we are, 100 knots. Oh, I said I'd go either reverse, didn't I, last flight of the day?
80 knots.
80 knots. And 60 knots. Manual braking, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Norwich. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Accidentally pushed toga, schoolboy error. Perfect. Really nice. That's got to be very high up on the record. Beautiful. Well, that's been a lovely stream. What a lovely, lovely day of sim flying. Awesome. I'll put the taxi music on now because there's no ATC. Go to the end here. Oh, hold on there, Tiller. Now, let's have a look here. This is the default airport, remember. So was it a backtrack? I can't remember now. I thought they had a little taxiway here. No, it does have a little taxiway. Ooh, it's a bit confusing, yes. So this is the... I should have gone to the end look. This is actually to the little 180 here. Tobias, where are you? Absolutely. We'll select flaps up, so I've kind of cut across the taxiway here. I'm not sure if this is approved for a 737 to taxi on. It's probably too narrow for a Cat C aircraft. Well, we're on it now anyway. That's why you should always read the airfield briefings. Quite narrow, but it might just be... might be wide enough. Probably have someone afterwards watching, oh, you shouldn't be on that taxiway. That's why it helps to have real ATC. Don't go on that taxiway. There we are. So this is just the stock scenery. There wasn't much available in the form of scenery for Norwich. There was no payware airports. The freeware one available was very outdated. I checked out compared to stock one. I think the stock one is a little bit more up to date on the gateway, so that's why I went for it. Right, carry on with the rest of the cleanup. Look at that for a flight time, 40 minutes, and not bad for 2 sectors. Look, less than 4 hours. I always try to keep the streams less than that generally, unless it's like a special stream. It's done. Landing lights off. APU can be fired up. We might be on the grass with my dodgy tiller, but no, it's all okay at the moment. We'll make a next left. We'll park on the Eastern Apron. So, actually, no. Where do they park here? Usually scheduled flights. Yeah, don't park there. That looks like it's where the helicopters park. We'll keep going around on Alpha and park in front of the main terminal there. There we go. A little bit of realism. Third sector then. One of the charity stream ideas I have, maybe for 80k, I might do a full-on 4 sector day, like a proper 4 sector day. That's one of the ideas I have. Awesome. So we got everything on the cleanup. No, I haven't. Flight director's off. Probees can come off. APU's on the bus. Provide the best caution. There's the fire department, not called out. Ah yes, the crazy ground crew as per usual. This looks like where the main terminal is. Seems to be some activity. Park in front of one of the stands here. I think this guy is calling me. Look, he's got his lights on, ready for the GPU to get connected. It's actually quite nice. It's got stand numbers and everything. Some of the stock airports are really nice. Right, someone's gone to the effort on the gateway to making sure these stand numbers are here, because it wouldn't be here by default. We'll go for stand 4, yes. There seems to be a bit of activity there. Well, pulling on a stand. Sorry to the ground crew for blinding you all. And there we go. Look at the lights illuminating the building. Very cool. Right, parking brake sets. We've got 2 blues, 1 reds, and engines are dead. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Norwich. A bit early. Don't ever turn the anti-call off like that, but keep you all happy in chat. Look at that. Another successful Alpaca Airways flight. What a butter at the end. Yeah, this version of the mod, very nice. VNAV was flawless. On that NDB approach especially. It was perfect. Really, really nice. BX7 iOS non-precision approaches allowed at night. Absolutely. Yeah, no limitations like night or weather. Obviously, you're going to make sure your RVR and your cloud base is above the minimums. Have a little look here in chat. Nice butter, yes, yummy. Cracking landing, sir. Thanks, Ben Matthews, and thank you so much for getting that hoodie. Sorry I missed the comment there. I'll try and find out what it was after. 2 tons of love, Tobias will have to break away for a bit to update the landing rate for another butter. Absolutely. Is he probably practicing for races or something like that? Frank said it would be the 13th on the list. Thank you very much for looking, Frank Sumter. Not bad after how many streams we've done? 150 or something like that. Huge amount. Thanks, PG. Said nice landing, dude. Stephen said peach for landing. Nearly corrected my made the same mistake, Stephen. Plainly said, wow, park on the ramp for service immediately. Your landing rate sensors are broken. It always does that now. It's really annoying. Now the crowd goes wild. Very, very good. Oh, there is UK 2000 scenery for X-Plane 11, but I thought they discontinued everything in X-Plane 11. Some of their sceneries aren't that great. Anyway, that's it for today. Lovely stream. I've really enjoyed this 2 sector day. It's been bliss, really. First sector was lovely. So many people joined in, and a nice little sector to Norwich for the first time. It was really nice to actually demonstrate the NDB approach, and you know, I cannot really differentiate between what I did there flying it as we would actually fly it in real life. No difference. The only other difference is half the calls will be coming in via pilot monitoring as well. Thank you very much, Matt Lundell. Sorry, I turned the alerts
50,
on, but I forgot
40,
to turn the alert box back on.
30.
Thank you very
20,
much, Matt Lundell, for
10.
the donation. They're very, very kind.
Thanks for the Friday entertainment.
Oh, you're most welcome, Matt Lundell. Yes, I hope you enjoyed your Friday night in chilling out with me with the stream. Very kind, Matt Lundell. Thank you very much and have a great weekend. Thank you, sir. Awesome. So yeah, lovely chill stream. Get this version of the ZIBO mod 346.17. Back it up as well, so when you update subsequent versions, if there's any problems, you've got this one to refer to. I really couldn't find much wrong with it. There was a slight discrepancy, as there has been recently, with some of the N1 performance calculations with the real OPT, but you shouldn't really need to worry about that. But LNAV, VNAV, there was a little wobble on one of the waypoints on the SID, I think, but just keep an eye on it. It is a mod. ZIBO, essentially, he gets a feedback from dozens of real pilots, experts on the aircraft as well, and implements it into this aircraft. So there's always a few little quirks here and there, but overall, this is still the 737 online. I mean, there's no other reason why I fly anything else at the moment. We'll see what comes out Microsoft Flight Simulator in the not too distant future. Right, anyway, let's lower the music for that one here and get everything ready for the replay. There we are. Cue the funky replay music. There we go. So let's have a look at that nighttime buttery landing. Oh, thank you as well, Expert 11, for being solid as a rock this evening. No stutters. Everything fine. Performance excellent. Multiple sectors, one after the other. No problem with this. Perfect conditions. Clear skies. Weather was beautiful here this evening. So there's the check. I'm going to have to do that again. Look at it. That was beauty. Look at that gear. Look at it. Look at the gear. Oh, yes. If only I could do that in real life. One more time, sorry. It was close to being quite firm, that's for sure. If I'd held it for 0.1 second longer, it would be very hard. That's it, just got to check at 20. Buttered it from Princeton, absolutely. So lovely on the comments earlier as well. Oh, in beauty. Right then, well, as ever, like a broken record, but I'm going to say it again. Thank you so much for watching another Flight Deck Sim live stream. To all the members, thank you so much for the continued support as members. Very much appreciated. We'll get around to organising the MOGF for next week as well. We'll start getting that sorted this weekend. Obviously, thank you very much all for the continued support. And to everyone that donated as well, thank you very much for your generosity. Never ever required, but very much appreciated. Thank you so much, guys. And to all the regular subscribers, thank you so much for watching. I hope you really enjoyed the stream. It was a lovely little 4-sec today. Don't forget to smash the thumbs up button and subscribe to stay up to date with the latest content. As ever, stay safe, and I'll see you on another live stream very soon.